Hello! Hello, unless you're watching a YouTube advert, which if you were, I wouldn't know anyway. I've never really known how to start streams. You just go for it. Oh, it's Indie Owly. We were just at your place. Indie Owly. Sup, it's Carnival Steve. It's Retro JB. You're all here. Everybody's here already. It's like seconds into the stream. This is unbelievable. This is like it's been planned. I'm going to put some... download some mods. Sorry about that. Looking forward to seeing a proper streamer. Yeah, for anyone else watching, we were just watching Indie Owly who does Twitch. And he's playing Baldur's Gate 3. Which I didn't even know there was a Baldur's Gate 3. But there is. And it was alright. I don't think there's anything wrong with your stream. I enjoyed it. Apart from the frame rate, which was terrible. But it wasn't bothering me. Sometimes the frame rate just sucks. It's called PC gaming. That's the way it works. Hello, Sherlock. Hello, everyone. Everybody's here. Well, not literally everybody, because that'd like be like a denial of service thing, wouldn't it? So, but you know what I mean. Relatively, everyone's here. And I've got the 1200 out. I actually had the 1200 out last time, didn't I, for pushover, but pushover didn't work properly on it. It played badly. Well, actually, it played too well. I had the opposite problem to you, Indie Alley. Playing a game on the 1200, and because the 1200's got a double clock speed of the other Amigas, the game actually runs twice as fast. So it's like you get too much FPS, as opposed to not enough. Which you'd think would be a good thing, but it's not always a good thing. So Syndicate then, Dave. Played it before? No, I've never played it. I don't know if we'll get onto that one today, but I do have it. I'll show you. I bought it. And it's actually quite a nice... It's actually quite a nice boxed copy of it. Look at that. No, I've never played this. I remember the days of when I first got into PC, and it was Syndicate Wars was out then. And I never played this one. Yeah, this is quite shiny. I'll tell you what else is good about it. If this is true... it says recommended Amiga 1200. So it's not one of these games that doesn't work on the 1200. It's one of these games that they actually say you should play it on the 1200. Unbelievable. Hard drive supported and recommended. I can install it on the hard drive. Unbelievable. Made in England as well. So yeah, apparently, not only will this work on the 1200, I can install it. How cool is that? I mean, that's not something you see from a Amiga game very often. So yeah. So maybe I'll install it this stream, I'm not sure. I wanted to play, what's the other thing I got? This. I've been looking forward to playing this on the Amiga for so long, Blood Money. I've actually got my original copy of Blood Money. It's not this version, it's the budget version. And I've kept it since back in the day, but the discs don't work. And there's a video going back on my channel from like 3 years ago where the first thing I did, I got my A600 out, and it had been in like, it had been in lofts and everywhere for decades. And I loaded this game, and it loaded the title screen once and then completely broke, and the disc didn't work. It's covered in, I was going to say blood. It's not covered in blood, it's covered in mold, the disc surface. But I tried this one today, and it does work on the A1200 if you turn the cache off, CPU cache. And the discs do actually work. Pipe Dreams? What about Pipe Dreams? Is that as in the game? Isn't it? Is Pipe Dreams a game or is that Pipe Mania? I'm trying to think. What Money Gate says shiny. Retro Joey says ooh. And Neil Alderson, Bullfrog awesome. I don't think I've ever played a Bullfrog game, either. Oh, and you've never heard of Blood Money? Well, you are in for a treat. But it is a shmup. And you know what? That's something else. Until just recently, I'd never heard of the term shmup. But I have now. Because I always used to call them shoot-em-ups. But shmup, I don't know when that term came about. But I think it's a more modern term for a retro thing that no one ever called it back in the day. Having a good frame rate, Pipe Dreams. Ah, yes. I see what you mean now. The frame rate will come. It'll come back somehow. Was it Twitch? Was the bad frame rate Twitch or was it the game? I couldn't work it out. It looked like it was the game. You got Syndicate with your 1200. Oh, that makes sense why it actually works on it then. Unless, oh, you mean, was it packaged in the box or you just bought it at the same time? I like Shmups. PC Engine had some good ones, it did. But yeah, I'm particularly excited to play Blood Money. Not only this, because I remember this back in the day. Hopefully it works on the 1200, I don't know. But it's got the most awesome intro for any video game. I remember thinking, because the music was awesome, and it's got the awesome, like, it's not, by today's standards, you might think, well, that's not that impressive. But I remember watching thinking, wow, that's so cool, that intro. Hello, retro gaming fans. Hello. And evening all right day from Bones in Runcorn. I can't pronounce your name. Ollie Pekka. I can't pronounce your name. I'll call you Ollie. Good lord. But hello. So yeah, I'm probably mostly going to be playing this today because I'm quite excited to play Blood Money. Do you know what? I didn't play this on the Amiga back in the day. I played it on the Commodore 64, and I've actually somewhere, I don't know if I could find it, but I've got my Commodore 64 copy of this on cassette. I think maybe I did have the Amiga at the time, but I just happened to have the Commodore 64 version. Maybe it was cheap or something, and I ended up playing it on there. But it's not a very easy game, I know that. So there's that too. But I think I did finish it on the Commodore 64, but it took me ages. So hopefully we'll be able to do a level. There's only 4 levels in the game, so you can imagine how hard the levels are going to be. But yeah, I'm quite excited to play this one. And it's got a good... that box art, they do a hold and modify picture at the start that actually looks very... Well, it is a scan of that box art. So you actually get to see the box art in the game, which normally you didn't see on the Amiga. Normally you get to see something rubbish version of it. It's pretty similar anyway. I think it's an interlaced hold and modify screen. It's got this really weird case as well on this. Like, the person who's selling it on eBay said, oh yeah, I don't think it's in the right case, but I actually think it is in the right case. It's just, I can't even show you. It just like, it opens in this weird thing and the stuff's in the wrong side. But I suspect that's how it was. Because the box art looks very much like the C64 box art. But, yeah, it's just really difficult to get the discs out. Does it say anything good about it in here? Yeah, it's even got the sticker on it. It's got the Blood Money, like, barcode sticker on it, so that's definitely the case. Loading instructions. Put the discs in. Switch on the computer. Congratulations, you've just got your hands on the ultimate arcade game. It says a whole megabyte of graphics, 250 kilobytes of sampled sound, and a maelstrom of death, destruction, and discovery awaits you. If you survive, you'll be set up for life, and if you don't, it just says ... I think that's the reference to the blood money. But all you do with the blood money is spend it on weapons that you use in the game. So you don't really get a lot of blood money. Blood money takes you on an alien safari across the untamed horizons of 4 hostile planets. The organisers charge varying rates of admission for each planet, but have devised a unique way of rewarding successful hunters. So I think that's it. Is it maybe you only have enough credits to start the first level, but if you do that, you can then choose any of the other levels. Flashback has my favourite intro on the Amiga. Flashback is a good one, which I also don't think I played back in the day. Definitely not inspired by Predator. Box art was back then. Well, box art existed back then, so I think we can honestly say that box art was better back then. When the boxes got massive as well, that was really fun, wasn't it? I need the discs, actually. Big question, though. What snack is this sponsored by? It's not sponsored by Quavers today. It's going to be sponsored by Blood. Not sponsored by EA either. Sponsored by DMA Design, which we're going to see. But yeah, it's got sampled sound on the intro, and I remember back in the day, the sampled speech and everything was pretty amazing, because I hadn't heard anything of that quality on anything really, because the Commodore 64, yeah, you could do samples just about by some horrible tricks, but it didn't sound very good. But this was actually like clear voices. And the kind of stuff you'd get in a film or a modern video game. Sponsored by Twix. If we play RoboCod, we get sponsored by Penguin, don't we? Blood Money music was ace. It was. Hopefully we get to hear it and it doesn't crash out. This definitely works, so we'll hopefully we get to hear it. And if not, I do have the mod to listen to it on its own. But yeah, I'm quite excited to play Blood Money. You're going to get my ass handed to me on it, I'm afraid, but that's the way it is. Sometimes that's the way it is. And yeah, there's the disc. So I've got the identical disc that came with the budget version, but mine have been destroyed. They have been destroyed, but I've got proper ones now. Quite surprised it worked on the 1200 actually. It had some graphical corruption on the title screen, so hopefully it's going to work. But I had to have a quick play of it today because I thought, well, I wonder if I'm just going to get the 1200 out and then we're going to have a stream where you watch me not play this game. But you can play it. You can actually play it. It's official. I bought an Action Replay 2 the other day, Dave. Great for ripping music. Well, actually, I have got the... Let's see. I think I've got the Blood Money music on here. Let's not spoil it though. But I have got it there. Blood Money title. So if it doesn't work, we can get to listen to it on there. But it's better with the intro. But yeah, I remember that because I'm not sure if I had an Amiga back in the day, but at the time when this came out. But I remember seeing it in the shop, and when I'd go in, I'd ask them to put that intro on. That and the R-Type intro, because it had such good music. But it's a good one to watch. If you're going to have a rubbish game, you should at least have a good intro. That's the way it should work, really, isn't it? But I suppose that might be a template for a lot of modern games. It's like, wow, look at all these amazing graphics. And then it's just absolutely rubbish game. But, you know, you get what you get. There's a lot of very good modern games, though. Probably better than this. This is probably not the best game in the universe. Well, it's good, but it's, you know... there's probably better ones, but hey, I like it. Although maybe the Amiga version's rubbish, you could say. Sometimes you got the Commodore 64 version that was good and the Amiga version would be like a piece of garbo, but you get what you get. You get what you get. I tell you what, I was really cold in here before I've turned the heating on and now I'm dying. It's ridiculous. Hang on. It's already off. It's already off and I'm still dying. It's crazy how different ports used to be from one system to another. Yeah, it is. There's a talk from Mike Daly, actually, who probably worked on this game because he worked for DMA, and he's done a talk about Lemmings. This might have been the game they did before Lemmings, actually. I'm not sure. But he was talking about the ports of Lemmings, and he's got on the slides when he's doing the talk, he just shows a picture of like all the Lemmings title screens. And the crazy thing is, it's not just that the game had to be ported, but when you looked at it, every single title screen looks different and has had to be redone because every single console was different. They all had different resolutions, different graphical capabilities, different colours and that kind of thing. So some of them would have like a set colour palette, some would have a modifiable colour palette, some would have 16 colours, some would have 64 colours. And you just, basically every single one was different. I mean, and you had the Game Boy version that was like black and white. So it's just crazy what they had to do. Just to port the title screen, people had to redraw the Lemmings logo and redraw the graphics. It was stupid. Like nowadays, people like complain about, well, they don't complain, but they compare things like, you see videos like, we compared the PS4 version with the Xbox One version, this, and you're looking at it going, they're basically identical. Yeah, there's a few pixels different, but you have to realize the developers literally just write the same code and recompile it for each one, and they aim for the lowest common denominator. So even if unless you get a platform exclusive, you're generally just going to get the same game. I mean, you might get something like different if the console's not quite as good, but the Xbox and PlayStation have got the same processor in them, so it's really, there's nothing in it. But go back to the 90s, and you know, although some of the computers were using the same CPUs and stuff, they're all completely different. Crazy. There's an action replay. Was there an action replay for the A1200? I have an AR2 for the A500, but I don't think it works on the A1200. I don't know. I never had an Amiga action replay, so I don't know. There's a RMC video about the action replay on the Amiga, I think. We are retro gaming family. There was a where's that shareware action replay for the 1200, but it wasn't that good. My comments are not showing, really? I think that's a YouTube thing. It likes to get rid of them. If I put, oh wait a minute, if I put live chat on instead of top chat, it does show me everything. I can see a comment from somebody saying pew, which is probably spam. So it shows you the spam when you do that. Yeah, hot tip, you change the top chat to live chat and it shows you more things, but I still can't see, I can't see yours, Sherlock. Maybe it's deleting them because you said poop or something like that. I don't think, I'm not sure if I can turn that off, but maybe I'll keep it on because it keeps the spammers away. Oh, it's not spam, it's shmup. Okay, sorry about that. Your comment didn't show up though, your pew, I've just got it to show up for me anyway. Yeah, there isn't a side expansion on the 1200. You're right, there isn't a side expansion, so if that's where the action replay plugged in, there wouldn't have been one. You got PCMCAA instead, which everyone was sorely disappointed about because there was literally nothing you could plug into it, and everything you did own from the Amiga 500 and the Amiga 1000 didn't work. So that's what disappointed people about PCMCAA. Although nowadays I'm using it here, well you can't quite see it, but I've got a card plugged in there. One thing I did find out is if you unplug the compact flash card out of the PCMCA while Blood Money's running, it freezes Blood Money. It still animates, but the whole game just freezes. So let's not do that. And they used to put the best looking port on the back of every box. Yeah, that's true. Almost every C64 box had the Amiga shots on the back. Well, do you know what? This one, this has the Amiga shots on the back, and it actually says, does it say somewhere? Screenshots are from the Amiga version. I could go and get the Commodore 64 version and we could find out what they did. Shall we prove it? I've got it somewhere. Let me go find it. Let's just prove this right or wrong. With facts, we're gonna prove it with science. Is it in here? It might be in here. This might have been a bad idea. Oh, I can see Amiga Blood Money. Right, hang on. I think I know where it is. Wait a minute, what's this? What is this? So we've got, here we go, look at this. So we've got, oh, you can't see them, the microphone's in the way. There's the front. Can you tell which one's the Commodore 64? Probably not. But then check out the back. The Commodore 64 one has the Commodore 64 screenshots on it. Where is it? Screenshots are from the C64 version. Now, maybe they put the same screenshots for that on all the 8-bit versions and they use the Amiga for all the 16-bit versions. That's a possibility. But yeah, the text is all the same. So there you go. So they put. So there you go. It's the science has proved it that they used different screenshots. That was nice of them. And it is a slightly different box because obviously it's got to fit the cassette in that one. Are they now checking? Oh, were you sending me emails instead of... Oh, I don't know. What's going on there? It's not spam, it's shmup. Yep, there we go. There was a PCMCIA network card though. Yeah, there were some things, but I mean, in the big scheme of things, there was nothing. The PCMCIA standard hadn't even been standardized at the point the A600 came out. So there you go. Can you use the PCMCIA card as a hard drive then? Never had a card when I had an 1200. Well, it's not really a hard drive, but mine's got a compact flash adapter in it, so that's like having a hard drive, really. It's bigger than the hard drive I had back in the day. Oh no, I'm being fact-checked. Yep, you've been fact-checked. It's official. I have an that's fine. It was from a PC laptop, and I got Amiga drivers for it. Yeah, I think the PC got a lot more support for PCMCIA. Everyone was talking about it back in the day. After watching those Computer Chronicles, everyone was going on about PCMCIA. It's going to solve all these problems, especially with laptops. But the Amiga didn't really get anything, did it? I'd love to get a 1200 again, but they're so expensive now on eBay. How much are they on eBay now? I don't know. Are they getting like ridiculous? Paid £35 for mine, but that was a few years back before prices went bonkers. You paid 35 quid for an Amiga 1200? Really? That's crazy. It came with a massive box of games and a hard drive. Wow. Rub it in, why don't you? Exactly. I'll stop Brian. Oh, 300 plus. I think this one I got here. This was when was this? A couple of years ago. I think this was 240 in it, and it didn't have any expansion. It had the mouse with it, I think. What else did it have? Just had the mouse really, and it had a broken floppy. The floppy drive was broken. But other than that, it was all right. It was pretty yellow. I got the box as well, but the box is really beat up. But I suppose they're even more than that now. It's worse. I looked on eBay and you see the ones that have been restored, and they're asking like silly money for them. Going, oh, it's been recapped, and I've put a GoTech in it, and it's like £600 or something. You're like, are you serious? It's like you recapped it and put a GoTech in, and now you want like and you put a memory expansion in or whatever. Yeah, this didn't have a memory expansion in it either. I put that in. I bought I can't remember how much it was, but I bought an Amiga kit, 8 meg memory expansion, which I just turned on to 4 meg. My A1200 case is a lovely colour, but the keys are orange. Oh yeah, that's what happened to this one. This case hasn't been retrobrighted, but the keys went super orange. Yeah, that's what happened to this one. Just paid £150 for an A500. Yeah, it's a bit like the A500s. After being like the go-to Amiga for back in the day, are almost like not as desirable now, I would say, because they're just, although you can expand them, I think the 1200 is, I would say, the most expandable. And even the CD32 is pretty good now, because apparently it's got an expansion. I didn't know this. It had an expansion port inside it or something. And Terrible Fire or whatever have made like a card that allows you to basically turn it into a full usable computer. So apparently the CD32 was worth nothing to everyone because they hated it. But once he did that card, it was like suddenly dead desirable. 1200 with a Zorro card and Zorro card 550. Yeah, I'm not saying the 500 is useless. I'm just thinking it's... I mean, I've got one and I don't use it. I'll put it that way. I might get it out for a laugh, but, what am I going to do with all this space here? Might as well fill it with the A500. But back in the day, the 500 was the one I used a lot. Until I got 600 and it mostly just changed over to that. I sold my A500 and A600 when I got the 1200 and regret that now. Yeah, I sold my 500 to get the 600, I think. Which I didn't regret, actually, back in the day. I totally liked it. I know a lot of people hated it, but I didn't mind it. It was smaller. It had a more up-to-date version of Workbench. It had more memory. It fit on my desk really well. So I can't complain. Oh, and it had a hard drive. That was the amazing part. It was my first ever computer with a hard drive. 20 megabyte hard drive. Can you even believe that? My first hard drive was 20 megabytes, and it was in an A600. First one I ever owned. I bought my A1200 about 6 months ago. Case was great, and the keys were slightly yellowed. Came with 4 games. Cost me £280. That's all right. That seems all right. It's like probably cheaper than it. That's probably still cheaper than it was if you bought it new back in the day. If you adjust for inflation, an Amiga 1200 is what, £600 or £700 or something. I've got CD32 with a Terrible Fire card. Great piece of kit. There you go. I didn't know about this CD32 thing until there was an RMC talk with Terrible Fire talking about how he made all the cards, or what cards he made, and he talked about the CD32. I didn't know anything about it. I sold my 500 to get 1200, then sold that to get a 486 DX66. To be honest, I think that was the right thing to do at the time. That was the right thing to do, because the 1200 became, well, a 35 quid machine, as you can tell. So it was the right thing to do. I assume you got some kind of decent money for the 1200, maybe, or maybe not by that point, because Commodore had gone bust, although Escom had taken over, hadn't they? I think retro computing in general is getting more expensive, probably because old nutters like us are loving the nostalgia supply and demand. Yeah, that's what it is. We've all grown up, we've got disposable income, and we all want a piece of our childhood back. That's really exactly what's happened. I think if you wait another 20 years, there'll be a lot of this stuff, like, well, not 20 years maybe, but maybe a bit longer than that, and we'll all be dead. And our collections will be going on eBay when we die, and people will be finding our collections of computers and going, hey, there's like 15 Amigas, and then suddenly the market will be flooded again, but nobody will want them because there'll be a lot of people who don't have much nostalgia for them. So unfortunately, I think we live in a time where this stuff is expensive, and it's going to get cheaper until they become really low, and then there'll be museum pieces. But I'm still, like, technically using this Amiga for streaming, so it's still working. It's not working to do proper work, but it's still working for me. So I'm not putting it in a glass cabinet or anything. I'm actually using this thing. COVID helped drive the cost of retro. I think it did, because I think I was just getting into... I just bought a Commodore 64. This was before COVID, though. It was just like about a few months before COVID. I bought a Commodore 64 and I was going to restore it. And then COVID happened, and then I just had a bit more time to do stuff because I wasn't commuting to work anymore, which I'd been doing like 5 days a week. So I had like more time to do stuff, and I did lots more videos. And you see, the videos on my channel slowed right down now because I just don't have as much time to do them. So that's the thing. But also, I don't have any to repair anymore because I bought all the stuff I needed and repaired all the stuff I wanted. So if I get something to repair, I'll fix it on the channel. But there's nothing much to fix. I think my future videos will more be just doing different things. I think doing things with the computer rather than doing things to the computer. I sold it in '94. The 486 was £899. That was, I think that's probably par for the course. A 486 DX266 though, in '94 was, I'm going to have to say, it was the computer to have. It wasn't the Amiga, unfortunately. That was the computer to have. So you did the right thing. You know, it pains me to say, but you did the right thing. People were at home with nothing to do. There was a lot of people at home with nothing to do. Coolvin, hey poo, hey. And Bones in One Corner agrees. Thank you. Well, you don't. I don't thank you for agreeing. I should just say you don't thank people for agreeing with you, do you? You say, yes, I agree that you agree with me. Was it a Breadbin 64? The one I bought off. The one I bought off eBay. No, it was a new one. I think it's in that box over there. I've got a couple of them now. I did get some quite good deals on those though. I got a Commodore 64 with two 1541s. I think it was 1541 2s. That I don't think people don't seem to like them, but it wasn't very expensive. I seem to remember. But one of the things that did happen was that I got the old Commodore 64 out and it didn't work. And at this point, I didn't own a soldering iron, didn't know anything about fixing computers. And I just thought, this thing doesn't work and I'm never going to be able to fix it or have the time to fix it. So I actually offered it to Adrian from Adrian's Digital Basement, and it's on his channel in a video that I think, is it in one of his videos? Yeah, I think he gets it in one of his mail videos, like one of the very first ones. And so he just said, oh, I don't need the computer, I don't need the case, I've still got the case there. He says, I don't need the case, I'll just take the board, because I don't even have a PAL Commodore 64, which is funny when you watch his channel now, because he's got like 100,000 subscribers and he's got like every computer in the world. So I sent him the board, and I said, well, here, you have it, you see if you can get it to work, because it doesn't power on for me. And he basically said, oh yeah, I fixed it, it was the switch has got rust in it. So he like just put some contact cleaner in the switch and switched it 20 times and it came on and it works perfectly. And I was like, Well, I could have done that, and then that's what kind of inspired me to start fixing things, because I thought, well, if you can fix stuff that easily, then I could fix stuff. And yeah, you can, but it turns out you just need a lot of gear to do it and stuff. But weirdly, I could have fixed that computer, no problem. I even left all the scum on it and everything. It was like covered in dust. It's Psalm67. Hi, you've come over from Indie Owly stream to watch. You've got sick of watching low frame rate modern games. You can watch low frame rate old games, which are designed to be a low frame rate. But yeah, I don't regret sending this stuff. The motherboard has, or the motherboard, the C64 board has gone to a good home. He's still got it, so he's restored it, and he cleaned it and everything like that. So it's gone to somebody who wanted it. That's good. So I don't regret that. But I kind of like looked at it and thought, yeah, I could do that. So when I got my Amiga out, the 600, that was when like he was actually telling me about it on email when I emailed him about talking about the C64. I said, I've got a 600, I need to try it out, and he says, oh yeah, you're going to need to recap that and stuff like that. So that's what I did. So I started fixing things. So it kind of inspired me to fix stuff, which is quite good. Quite like it. Not that I'm great at fixing things, but I've managed to fix some things, so I'm doing all right. What made me finally move to PC from Amiga was when the Sound Blaster cards came out. Before that, Amiga audio was better than PC, but there wasn't much trackers and audio stuff on the PC. Yeah, the Sound Blaster, that's the thing. I never liked computers that had rubbish sound, and the Sound Blaster really was. At that point, the Sound Blaster was better than the Amiga, wasn't it? Let's face it. The Amiga's sound never changed. It was amazing in 1985 when it came out, and by 1994, it was still pretty good, but the Sound Blaster didn't beat it, let's face it. So that's the way it went. I think what changed it for me was, the Amiga was dwindling away, and I went to my friend's house, and it was either Quake or Doom that we played, and I saw that, and I was like, I've got to play this. And I think the Amiga just completely out of my mind at that point. It's just like, well, we all play Doom now, or we play Quake or whatever, and it was probably Quake, so it might be 96. So I was probably hanging on with the Amiga because I liked it, but then it's like, nope, I need a PC. PC's the way forward. And I didn't like it. It seemed clunky and horrible, and there was setup issues, and it just didn't seem like as good a computer, but ultimately it was better supported, so that was the way it went. Nice, I'm old, just like the old games. That's what we all are. We're all old, and the games are old. Tell you something though, you know those 2 days of summer we had? Well, I stuck my 1200 keyboard out and wind up better than Jimmy Carr's teeth. No chemicals, just pure sun. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, I did that with my Commodore 64 keys on that bread bin, and it works out really well. The worst that can happen is that nothing changes. It doesn't really go wrong, I think. But yeah, 2 days of sun. That's what you want. Bazza, when I saw Wolfenstein 3D, I knew the gig was up on the Amiga. Yeah, quite possibly. The gig was up. They called Doom the nail in the coffin, didn't they? Because it was like 93 that Doom came out, and Commodore were just about to go bust at that point. So you can see, like, if you look at the Commodore games at that point, they're all like these 2D games, like the one I'm going to play here. They're all games very similar to this, even though this is from '89. And then you look at Doom and you look at this and you're like, I'm not playing these anymore, I want to play that. So, but now we're going back to these because these kind of games are popular even on Steam and stuff now. There's like a whole like plethora of games. Like Doom's not the only style game. But I think people maybe got a bit tired of like shooters or something. But at the time, no one was tired of them because they were kind of new. I never really liked Wolfenstein because I think I'd seen Doom before I saw Wolfenstein. So, and I thought Windows was rubbish. That was the other thing about PC. They had a 286 at school that I used to use like when I was waiting to go home, and it had Windows 3 on it, and I hated it. It was horrible. It was slow, and it was noisy, and it was ugly, and the games were non-existent, and I hated it. And I was like, how can this computer that is the same speed as the Amiga be so bad? And that's what really kind of put me off PCs for a long time. So I never had a 286, never had a 386. In fact, I never had a 486. I went straight to some kind of Pentium, I think. Some kind of Pentium. That was where I started. Hated them all. I'll have to give that a try, maybe the extra summer with you next Wednesday. Oh, right. Yeah, stick it. I did that. There's a video where I stick the Commodore 64 keys out. Give it a go. Just stick them in the sun, and hopefully they'll get rid of some of the yellow or get some of the nasty colour on them. I did the same with my 500 and Atari ST. There you go. Didn't the Amiga have Gloom though? I think it did, but I don't think that came out until after Doom, and it didn't run very well. It didn't run as well as the PC. You ran in a little window and it looked awful. Doom just ran better. Windows 3.11 was rubbish compared to Workbench. Correct. I think that is actually correct. It was a stopgap of a rubbish thing while they were trying to get Windows 95 ready. It was just a user interface for DOS, so it was just generally rubbish. The seasons have gone mad, they have. Oh, it's in the alley again. The Game Boy was my introduction to gaming. All right. I don't have a Scooby-Doo. What you are on about? Well, that's funny because the last 2 videos on my channel are about the Game Boy. I fixed a Game Boy. So there you go. But yeah, if you didn't have an Amiga, that probably none of this makes any sense. In a minute, it all makes sense. But yeah, the Game Boy. Hey, I never had a Game Boy, but I've fixed one now. I can tell you, there's not a lot of things inside them, but they were selling them for 70 quid, so you could see why they built that thing down to a price. I remember everyone having a Game Boy back in the day, though. I never had an Amiga. I had friends that had one. Yeah, that's the same for a lot of people. They were pretty expensive at the time. More expensive than the ST, so a lot of people didn't have them. I thought gaming was to replace friends. That's the dream. That's the dream. Fancy seeing you here, Indiali. Yep. You guys are getting along. I just got my first Amiga last year. Really? That's crazy. It's crazy that someone would get an Amiga now if they never had one, because I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot of hype about them, but they are just a computer at the end of the day. But if you I don't know, because I've got nostalgia for the Amiga. I would still say it's my favourite computer if somebody asked. You say, what's your favourite computer? It wouldn't be the PC, even though the PC is amazing. It would be the Amiga. And it's not the computer I spent the most time on. That was probably the Commodore 64, but the Amiga was the first computer that I thought was actually a computer and was really good. I had a Game Boy only for Tetris. That's all I played when I fixed it. I just kept playing Tetris, didn't I? That was the game everybody had, wasn't it? Good video as well, that Dave. You have patience. Well, you've got to fix in these things, because if you're not patient, you're just going to make it worse. I think that's the problem. But yeah, managed to get one of them going perfectly. The other one was never quite right. I don't even know if it's fixable, because it's got these blobbed on chips that they did to make it cheap. I had a Game Gear. Did you now? Well, there's a treat for you. There you go. Oh, what's in here? What's this? I'm sounding like I'm talking to a dog. What's this? What's this? What's this? It's gonna lots of music start playing now. It's gonna go really on. It's Batman Returns, which I was playing a bit the other day. It's not a great game. That's my Game Gear with a modded screen, and the screen mod is awesome. It uses half the power and it looks 10 times better. It's amazing. So yeah, Game Gear for the win. Amiga is the best. Yep, that is correct. Lock Money Goat played a Game Gear today. Well, there's there's always a bit of time to play a Game Gear. It's a fun platform, and it's refreshing to have such a simple 32-bit computer for programming. Yep, I think that is one of the places I think where these old computers can have a place in modern times. Is that if you want to learn modern computing, like say you're a youngster, and you're trying to learn about computers, whether it's computer science or whether you're just trying to learn about computers. If you want to get into the ins and outs of it, modern computers are either so strange inside that they don't make any sense, or they're so complicated that they don't make any sense. So for instance, if you open up an iPhone and look inside it to try and figure out how it works, you will see one chip, maybe two, and you will not be any closer to understanding what's going on in there. If you open up an Amiga, you'll see a processor, you'll see like a memory controller, you'll see memory chips, you'll see ROM chips, you'll see an interface to a floppy drive and a hard drive interface, and you'll see ports on the back for expansion, and you'll see chips near to those that are controlling them. And you can put the whole thing together and start to understand it. And the actual way modern computers work isn't any different. Yeah, the number of chips has got shrunk down because we have to make it cheaper, we want to make it faster. But the principles are always the same. So it's a good way of learning stuff. And even going back to the Commodore 64, like the Commodore 64 has DRAM in it. That's how my PC works here. The PC that's running at like 4 gigahertz or whatever uses DRAM. Well, the Commodore 64 uses DRAM. It didn't change. The way it like does RAS and CAS is the same. It hasn't changed. So it's just much, much faster and harder to understand, I would say. So yeah, you can get blinded by science with modern computing, but so I think that's the place that like retro computing has in modern times. Is it's a good way to learn about computing. You can open up an old computer and you can point at things and tell people, go, that's RAM, that's where things are stored. Like, there's the interface to the hard drive, you know, like there's the main processor. You can't do that in an iPhone, and you probably can't do that very well. Maybe in a PC you could do it a bit better. But even then it's much harder. You take the case off and there's just heat sinks everywhere. And you're like, there's the heat sinks. Buried under those somewhere are some chips. And sometimes the graphics chip and the CPU are integrated together in laptops and things like that. So I think that's the place it has in today's society. But there are things that maybe, you know, not worth learning about, like floppy drives and things like that. But even then, the principle of like taking something and storing it magnetically, even that is still around in places. So it makes some kind of sense. I've got a Game Gear Pocket and I still often grab it for a Tetris session. Nice. I had a Game Gear when they first came out, sold it because the screen was crap, the screen is crap, and the battery lasted about 34 seconds. They did. So the only good thing about that screen mod is it does two things, is it doubles your battery life and it makes the screen not crap, which I couldn't really see on that because that Batman Returns thing has got a really half-bright screen at the start. I don't know why they did that. Too many abstractions. I don't think it's abstractions, it's more, well maybe, but it's more that just that the thing's been, like, things are compressed onto a chip now, which is more difficult to understand. So, yeah. And also, like, if you're trying to learn electronics, say, it's very difficult to put an oscilloscope on a modern PC and look at the signals because the signals are so fast you can't even measure them unless it's like a 10,000 quid oscilloscope. Like the oscilloscope I've got only goes up to 100 hertz or something. So, or whatever it is, 50 megahertz. Sorry, 50 megahertz. Yeah. So I can't measure anything in this laptop with my oscilloscope. It's too fast. But it's way fast enough for the Amiga or the Commodore 64. Even that 486 DX266, you know, the clock speeds are higher than this oscilloscope that I've got. I bought my first C64 when I was 40 years old. Whoa. Played with it when I was a kid. I couldn't afford one when I was young. Oh, there you go. So you still got some nostalgia for it, though. That's the thing. A lot of the time it's like, well, I never had a 1200 when I was younger, but I knew about them and I wanted one. But I did have an Amiga. Today, getting close to the hardware is learning that your 4090 melted its power plug. It really is. And that's the other thing. Programming is a bit different back then, because programming back then was actually like looking at the hardware and poking things into registers and getting the hardware to do something. But nowadays, that's not programming. Even if you program at a low level nowadays, what you do is you go, okay, the operating system is booted up. Let's look at the graphics API and let's tell the graphics API to do things. So you're still one level abstracted from the hardware. Maybe that's what you meant by too many abstractions. There's abstractions in the software, but the hardware, at the hardware level, there isn't. The abstractions are all, yeah, software based. I love old CRT monitors. See, that's the thing I don't love. I mean, I did for a while because they were, well, when LCDs came out, LCDs were rubbish. So I still liked CRTs, but once they were better than CRTs, I never went back to them. I don't have the space and the notion to fix them. They're one thing I'm not really interested in trying to fix. I'm not interested in blowing myself up trying to fix them either. That Adrian from Adrian's Digital Basement, though, he loves fixing those things. He loves it. Right. Are we ready for this? Let's get the right screen on. I do need to turn the CPU cache off for this. We're going to get, hopefully this will work, we're going to get the best game intro ever made on the Amiga. Maybe, unless you count, what was the game? Another World or something. So this does work with the caches off. That's what I know. Here we go. Here we go. You can write your own operating system to avoid abstraction. Yeah, that's what that bare metal C64 is. That's really good. Hey, look at that. That is the hold and modify picture. I think it's interlaced and hold and modify. It's really flickery on my monitor because it's interlaced, but how cool is that? It's very much like the box art. Shadow of the Beast or Xenon 2 was the best. Xenon 2 was alright, actually, but this one's a good one. If it works.
Now, Psygnosis presents a DMA design game.
There's a whole lot more coming.
The biggest unanswered question is where is the money?
There's a whole lot more coming.
This whole first disc has got to be just this intro, I think.
The biggest unanswered question is where is the money?
There you go, look at this, look how cool this is.
Where is the money?
It doesn't look like anything to be amazed by nowadays, does it? But I was really amazed by it back in the day. Like just having massive graphics moving, stuff like that. This moon and the earth and stuff, whatever. And the music was awesome, let's face it. Yeah, so it's got some corrupted graphics there, but I don't think it's going to stop the game from playing. See, look, that was just like insert disc 2. That disc 1 did nothing. Just did nothing. Just did that intro, I mean. I don't know if they got any permission for those samples either. And that's Harry Enfield as well.
The biggest unanswered question is where is the money?
I still have my next station from back in the 90s. I am the original owner. Wow. After carrying it with me for nearly 30 years, I do not love CRTs. So you have a next station. Weren't they like 10 grand or something? That's crazy. Yeah, look at these corrupted graphics. That's not right. That is not right. You could write to the bare metal... like Amiga stuff is. Yeah, I mean, the bare metal programming's basically over now. It's basically those days are gone. So, but it's something that probably you should learn as a programmer, because it's like, it's understanding that you are programming the hardware at the end of the day. So when you're firing calls into these APIs, you don't really know what's going on, but it's nice to be able to see that like those calls somewhere have to actually access some hardware and have to do something. So ultimately you have to know the hardware you're programming for. Carnival Steve says that Lock Marnie Goat should get to the chopper. Please get to the chopper. Lol, the loads of money sample. Yep, I doubt they got permission for that. So why the game is not this style shmup? What? I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming this is a shmup. I don't know, it's probably not. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I assume the shmup term just means any kind of shoot 'em up. Any snooker tonight, Steve? What? You got the helicopter, I like it. 3D intro screen instead of top down. Xenon 3D? I don't know. 1999, blimey, the year I left school, yeah. Blimey. Consoles like N64 are bare metal. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Almost everything up until this point was bare metal. Like, everything was. And that's not to say you couldn't write an Amiga game where you did, like, write it for Workbench. I'm sure some people did that. But bare metal was the way you got all this speed out of this computer, because you weren't going to get it through an operating system. Now think hard about this, but the intro music is like a cross between Tiffany, I Think We're Alone, and Sunita. So macho. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't want to think hard about that. I really don't. I like the way they've got this horrible menu that draws, but they've given me an option here, F4, to make it go faster. So I'm going to play with the music on. And let's hope I don't get my ass handed to me. So player 1 has $200. So you can actually start level 1 or 2 then. You have to buy your way into the level. So I can start this or the submarine level. And then you're going to have to play one of those two to get enough money to get into these other two. So we'll start with the helicopter level. So one of the only real troubles with this game, well, one of the troubles is you absolutely can just lose all your health instantly. And that's a real problem. That can be a real problem. So yeah. And the other thing is, like, because it's got the blood money, when you're shooting these things, you need to get close to them to try and get the stuff. So sometimes you're better off like that, not getting the money, because you're just going to die getting it. And for anyone who hasn't seen this, this is the shop. And this is where you buy the goodies. I would love Xenon 3D to be released. This is where you buy the goodies. So this is one of these games where if you die, you are screwed. I don't know which one of these things are. Is that... one of these shoots long distance. Is it that one? I can't afford anything anyway, so it doesn't matter. Pretty shoot 'em up game. That's what this is. Here we go. So I think I've got... yeah, this is going to really help. Oh, no, it's not. This is the worst AI in any game you've ever seen. It just goes straight for you and murders you. It's a straight up murder. So yeah, this game is like, if you're dead, you're just in trouble. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get through a level today, so just be aware of that. But I need the blood money. Yeah, this AI is terrible. It just like literally murders you. It straight up murders you. Oh, got it in. Right, what can I get now? There's definitely a long shot. I don't know which one it is. It's not that. That's backward shot. What is this one? Is it this one? Is this the long shot? I have no idea. Oh, there's stuff going on. It's multiple crossover predator, interesting airwolf, helicopter, two-legged thing from Robocop Ed 209. What? I don't know. The greatest R-Type Graze style game. I don't know. Too relaxed. Sorry I missed it. What year is this game? 1989. Yeah, there you go. Too busy chewing. Just smashed a curry. Well done. Well done. Smashed it. Is this the long shot? That's what I want. I don't know what I just bought. I have no clue. Right, this bit's annoying. Because these things, you have to move them. Right, I'm not dead yet. I am not dead yet. Oh, right, there's a bit here. Oh, right, okay, this thing here reverses your controls. So if you see me die when that thing's on the screen, that little tower with the electricity coming out of it literally reverses your controls. That is a scummy trick. You know it. Oh, that's bad. What I just did there is bad. I've lost all my blood money. So this is where you might not see me finish a level ever. So I'm back to square one again. Oh, I can just about afford these two again now. See, it's the thing. You're supposed to be getting all this money, like the blood money, but you're just spending it on your own ship and then destroying it. Nice, Indie Alley. I had chippy chips and fish. Nice work. Smashed a curry, chippy chips and fish. What a Saturday night this is. What a Saturday night. I've not had fish and chips in ages. Well, you've missed out. You get a propeller and the enemies have jet power. Yep. Well, on different levels, I get jet power as well. So, how did I get into gaming? How did I get into gaming? That's a good question. I think the school had a BBC, and my dad just loaded up a game on it and said, "There you go, you can play this game on it." And that's when I first saw a video game. I was like, "This is awesome." That was when I was like, "Yes, this is awesome." And since then, it's just been play every game you can find. Well, not every game you can find, but you get the idea. I'll carry on reading the chats after I've played a bit more, because otherwise you're going to sit here and watch me on a shop screen forever. So I'll catch up in a minute. I wonder if I'll do a level today. This will be awesome if I did. Oh, look at all the money! Get all the money! Like I said, the trick is not to die getting the money, because that's the worst thing you can do. Oh, nearly died there. Like I said, this game has health. You can see it at the bottom next to my lives, but it's kind of pointless, because if you hit something, you're almost dead anyway. Right, I've got to get through here without dying now. Oh, they can shoot through walls as well. That's a scummy trick. That is a scumbag's trick. Uh-oh. Money. Bet the shop's down there, isn't it? Yep. I think I remember that from back in the day. Whew. Right. So that wasn't the speed up. That wasn't the long shot. One of these is long shot. I have no idea what it is. That's backward shot. That's a little bomb. I've no. That's an extra life. What's this one? Let's buy that and find out what that is. Let's just buy whatever we can, because we're gonna die. Let's face it. I nipped into the boozer to watch Liverpool and then nipped into the chippy on the way home. Liverpool lost, are you saying? Oh, there's a little cry there. Well, we had the discussion about football in the hourly stream, and I think that everybody in the universe loves football except for me. It's quite a possibility. Spag Bowl, that'd be my choice. Spag Bowl, that's a good one. Amiga is fish and chips. It's got chips in it. Oh, mate, I'm a Spurs fan. Oh, there you go. We're talking about football, but isn't Spurs' fault that VAR doesn't work? Don't know what VAR is. Great result for you, but you see, I can't comment on this because I don't know what's going on. It's raining coin. There you go. I can comment on that. That's the game. All right, let's get out of here before I die. Oh right, that's it. That's the long shot. Right, we wanted the long shot. Long shot is a huge help. Except, you do have to be careful, because if you shoot the things that give the money when they're very far away, you won't get the money. And that is what you want. You want the money. Oh, let's get the 25. Nice. Right, which way is this going? Is it going up or down? It's quite tense, this. It's quite a tense game. It's the really slow scrolling. It's like you just know something's going to murder you. Let's try not to die. Oh, I didn't want Mr. 25 there. Right, I'm throwing money away like there's no tomorrow, but I'm staying alive. I've got no health. I've got a little health bar down there. There's the shop. Can you buy health? That's really what I want. I don't want extra life. Well, I can't buy anything. I can't buy anything. Let's not bother then. Football, football, football. Swift helicopter, yep. The Jazz FM music doesn't match the action-packed gameplay. Yeah, it's a bit weird. I did always like the music to this, though. It's very slow scrolling, though, so it does kind of fit. I don't know, though. Oh, nearly died there. Right, I've literally one hit and I'm dead now. Oh no, I don't want under 25. 25's all the way. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Oh no! Damn it! Right, this is where I'm absolutely done now. Can you see the problem? You can see the problem here. I've now got no health. Sorry, no... Oh, I've got no health as well. Look at this! That was ridiculous. Oh no, this is really bad. Oh no, oh no, just... Damn it, I died trying to get in the shop. See how wrong this goes so quickly? It goes wrong quick. Are there no sound effects? You can turn sound effects on instead of the music, but you can't have them both. Is it only Dave who never swears? It's like an effing trooper trying to dodge the star. I try not to swear during the live streams, but I do normally swear quite a lot. Is it time for an ad break? Dodge. Screw you. There's no ad breaks here. It's not monetized, this stream. There's nothing to monetize. There's no ads. You can't even insert an ad. There's no way of doing it. This video is not sponsored by Quavers. Right. Oh, enter my name. Cool. Look at that, keyboard. Who knew? Where did I get to? I got last on the scoreboard. That shows you how well this game is going. You could just advertise something. I did actually. I got a mail from. I haven't even replied to him actually. I got a mail from PCBWay asking if they wanted me to, if they wanted to be a sponsor. Which is weird because I have actually bought stuff off PCBWay, but I'm probably still going to say no because I can't be bothered. But I might just politely decline in case I change my mind in the future. Like if I lose my job, I can become a full-time YouTuber and get like £20 a month from it. Give us a pitch. Well, I could give you the pitch. I'm not going to give you the pitch for PCBWay because they technically might pay me so I'm not going to pitch. It's weird because now I definitely won't pitch them because I could get paid for it. Does that make sense? Only crisp sponsorship. I could do. Next week's stream sponsored by Tangy Toms. I don't even know what they are. Sponsored by 148,700 cups of tea. Yeah. Sponsored by tea. There you go. Stream sponsored by Roller Cola. I saw there was a video the other day. It looked like someone had made it in the 90s on VHS, and it was they'd just done a parody of a Coke advert. What did they call it? Coma Cola they called it. I thought that was quite good. That was a good one. So yeah, I might politely decline PCBWay. Do you want to try sound effects instead of music? Here you go. It goes very quiet now. It's loading the sound effects. So let's try this level with... I don't think I've ever played with the sound effects on in this game. It was Professor Peppy this week. What? Oh, Professor Peppy. Right, I'm going to try again. I'm straight in. I'm going back into the fray. I could play the submarine level for a bit of a change, but let's try that one again. I'm not sure. There you go. Sound effects. I've never played this with sound effects, you know? Never played it. I think it might tell me when I'm like getting hurt, because that's one of the things I don't really know. So you can't get that and the other money. Oh, there is a bit of like a leeway at the top. Do you see that? I can actually put the helicopter in at the top, but at the bottom it doesn't do that. Uh-oh, didn't kill that. Right, I've got enough money to buy the... Oh yeah, it takes your money off as well. That's quite good. So do people prefer the sound effects or the music? That's the question. Coffee time, really? Why can't it do both? This game didn't, I think. I suppose the problem with the Amiga is it's only got 4 sound channels. So if you wanted sound effects and music, you'd have to have music that only ran in the 3 sound channels. That's what a lot of games did. They kept one channel free for the sound effects. So you'd have limited sound effects, but also limited music. So you get a bit of a... This way's better because you get better music and better sound effects. I don't know. It's up to them, really. Or maybe they just couldn't be bothered. They did it in Lemmings. Lemmings has got music and it's got sound effects at the same time. I think Lemmings is not right when you play with that music as well. Spagball was nice, but now I have to have a break. And I have to break out the Gaviscon. Well, that's what you get for eating too much Spagball. Spagball's not the problem. It was the quantity that you ate. Those blue things with 2 legs are like Ed 209 older brother. Yep, they were. I think you can actually go underneath the legs as well without getting hurt, if I remember rightly. Not that you'd want to, but you can. No ads, that's why. Right, here we go. Let's not die. Let's not die. Maybe I'll do a level. Oh, you get a little money collect sound. Actually, I'm not sure if on the Commodore... I played this on the Commodore 64. I wonder if it didn't have the sound effects on the Commodore 64. Don't know. Don't remember. I do like the music, though. There's that lady on YouTube who does piano covers of retro games, and she's done this. She's done the music from the levels on this game. She's done Blood Money. I think that's how I found her channel, actually. She did the Blood Money tune. Not the intro tune, the level music. Give them hell! Right, I'm going to do that. Right, so we definitely want this long shot. And that's it, I can't buy anything else. I like the ads on your stream, Indy. I can't go 30 minutes without seeing Lenny Henry anyway. I carry a picture in my wallet. I've put them down to 30 seconds an hour to quell the ripping. Don't let me view. Yeah, those ads are weird because I like subscribed. It showed for anyone else who's watching this, it's going to be a bit boring because we're talking about a live stream on Twitch that we just watched from Indie Alley. But it came up and it said there's an ad break, so it just had a picture of an owl and I could hear you. And then after a bit, the owl went away and I could see the game. But according to you, everyone else was watching the adverts. That is definitely very confusing. Did Banjo Gaioli do the music to this as well? He might have done, actually. He might have done. I'm not sure. He's done quite a lot now. That's why I recognise that tune. She did Lady Piemont's Piano 2. Yeah, she's called Grazia Pizzuto. I'd have to put a link in for that because you'll never find it. But she's really good. She just does piano covers of such. Twitch is a mess. Twitch is a mess. I find Twitch like really. It's like after coming from doing streaming on YouTube, when I go to Twitch, it's dead busy. If you know what I mean. Like there's just millions of buttons and things and like do this and do that and like sub to this and do this and gift a thing, and it's just like, for God's sake, what do you do here? Do you actually watch stream? Oh, I nearly died there. Do you actually watch the streamer or not, or do you just like press buttons on here? It's just busy. Let's put it that I'm going to say busy is the word. Oh, that was the bit to confuse me. No, there we go, got it. Right, what I need to do is get myself some decent power-ups, don't die, and just buy lives. That's the way to do this game, I reckon. That is the way. This is the way. Oh, these guys! They got me last time. Got to remember that for next time. Those guys are going to murder me. Uh-oh. Let's go get the equipment. Maybe I should just buy lives. I think the backwards firing is quite good, though. Because you can run away from things while you're shooting them. What's going on here? I've often wondered what people did before Gaviscon was invented. It's like magic elixir. I've never really had it. I don't really get stomach problems. That's probably famous last words. Put that on my gravestone. I don't get stomach problems. Just had a look at the C65 version, the C64. Just music, no sound effects. Yeah, that's how I remember it. So maybe you can play it with sound effects like this one. I don't know. I know exactly what you mean. Watching streamers on YouTube is nice. It's just, I don't think YouTube's very popular for streaming though. That's why a lot of people go to Twitch. Hydrate. I am going to hydrate actually. That's a good idea. Have you got a hydrate reminder? Prefer Rene to Gaviscon. See, that would cost 100 points on Twitch. Yeah. I did like the way the game you got was Baldur's Gate was integrated with Twitch. That's quite cool. I feel like Twitch is for kids who don't have long attention spans. YouTube feels a lot calmer. I think so. Yeah, Twitch is like all over the shop. I think there's a lot of people who made a lot of money on Twitch though, isn't there? So there's a lot of people flocking there to like, I want to make money by streaming. And I think YouTube's about, there's a lot of people making, well, there are some people making a lot of money out of videos, but I don't think anybody's making money out of live streaming on Twitch because it's just not, on YouTube, because it's not very popular. But it is a lot of fun. So there's a lot of, like, you'll see a lot of channels that do a lot of videos and make money from that, but they do live streams, but they don't do them to make money. They just do them because they want to show you something. So like that BigClive.com, he's got like 1 million subscribers and he does loads of videos. And it's one of his main sources of income, I would say. Or one of his sources of income. I don't think it's his main job. But he does live streams, but they don't get monetized. And he gets like, 100 people or so watching. I don't want money on Twitch. I'd settle for Logmoni's respect. DL, he's raking it in. He is. He's a Twitch millionaire. It's confirmed. He said it's confirmed. Twitch millionaire. There's loads of them now. Twitch billionaire. Indy Owley. Money! And bullets. Oh no, I'm losing all the money. Need the money. Oh, I could have got that one. Big money. That's what we want. Oh, I'm shooting some of them down there. Right, I've got to get down here without dying. Well, I'm not dead yet. Do you know what? I think sometimes it's not shooting because it's running out of bullets. It's running out of on-screen bullets. Oh, this could be death. Oh, I'm not going to get out of here without dying now. I'm just going to buy a life because it's going to murder me. Nearly got enough for another life. What do these do? This forward and up. I don't know what they do. They might be really good. All right, I'm going to die now. Watch. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. They put that shop in an evil place. Well, at least I bought the extra life and not anything else to upgrade my ship. These don't give you any money, so you can just shoot these. Look how crap I am now. Oh, we have to watch out. They're shooting through the walls, aren't they? Oh, wait a minute. I think something weird just happened there. Was that guy reversing my controls? Oh, this is not going well. Right, it's all gone wrong really quick. I would have been dead if I hadn't bought the extra life, I think. This is taking a lot of my concentration now. Oh, I'm not getting that guy. Yeah, you can't go close to the walls. You're dead if you go close to the walls. Let's get the power-ups back. Oh, I've got just enough to buy these 3. I will defend some Twitch streamers though, because as a Twitch streamer myself, we don't want ads. We want to have the choice. You have to have ads. I suppose, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I suppose that's it, because if you don't put the ads on though, how do Twitch make any money at all? Do they take a cut of the money that people give to you via the subscriptions? I don't know. It's a bit weird. But yeah, the ads don't really work on live streams though. That's the problem, isn't it? You do, like, if you're watching a live stream, like, if you watch live TV, for instance, like, not that I've done that for decades, but if they have an ad break, they stop the show for the ad break, unless it's like football or something, which they don't put the adverts in then, do they? They do it at half time. So, but you can't really stop for the adverts, especially if you don't know they're happening. It doesn't make any sense. You got it. I send abuse because I just want you to grow like a plant. I will, because of you. You need to speak to the manager of that shop. Parking is terrible. It really was. I think that was deliberate though, because remember, this is an old game, and in old games they do anything they can to screw you. That's how old games work. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows it. Oh, right, okay. I didn't realise those guys took off and fired loads of bullets. Right, this is where I got to before and got done in. I need the money though. Need the blood money. Right, this is gonna go really wrong quick again. Right, oh, bullets! Right, this is where I got to before, and it's bad news up here. I can only say bad news. Yeah, just look at that! Uh-oh. At least I can hear myself getting hurt now. Oh, these things are going to kill me, aren't they? Mental. Absolutely mental, this game. Ads kill momentum. Yes, you get a little warning. Most of the time, the ads are a minute. Oh, right. A minute before you realise. Yep. I've seen people stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, and the comments show up on both. Not sure they're doing that. Yeah, there's loads of streaming services that you can buy into that do that kind of thing. I think you can do it in OBS. I'm streaming in now. But yeah, you really need to manage all the comments and put them all in one place. But I think you should be on one or the other. I think doing two at the same time it's just, I don't know, it's just not going to work. That's my personal opinion. It may work for you. I think I got hit by... Oh, I've got no health and no lives, so this is it. Next hit kills me. Which is that one. I waited too long. Right, I got to exactly the same place. Exactly. That is... Let's put my name in again. Whoops, that's not right. Dave Poo I32. That was despicable. You see how hard this game is? I'm not sure if I prefer the sound effects or the music. Maybe we should alternate between the two. If you've got the music file for this, you can just play it in the background. It's true, actually, that's true. That is true. Right, let's go again. And I don't even know how far I am through the level. I think these levels are massive. Let's put the music on. Let's have a bit of music. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one she did the piano music for. Right, I'm going again. I'm sorry you have to watch me fail at this, but it's the way it is. I'm not going to play the submarine level yet. I know that'll be different. That helicopter's the wrong colour, isn't it? But yeah, we're going with this. You really need to look how slow I am. I could tell that I was getting hit by the bullets though before. That was the thing. Whoops. Whoops, I just lost all of my... I remember one of the tactics in this game. If you go into the shop with no health, you really should just die first, because if you buy health for a ship that's got absolutely no... Let's just start this one again. If you buy in stuff for a ship that's got no health, you just you spend all your money and you just die anyway. So I think that's the problem. That is the problem. I take it we're not speedrunning this. You can't speedrun this game because you can't control the scrolling speed at all. It is not possible. I'd be just happy to get through a level, really. That's all I'm really aiming for. If you think about it, Amiga games are like rock solid, and this game's only got 4 levels, so that kind of gives you an idea of how hard it's going to be. And you really need to get... Oh, hang on. You're going to miss that guy. I really should have got that guy. Yeah, I don't think I got... Did I get enough money here? Equipment. Right. I probably need to find out what these are as well. Shall we do a bit of an experiment? Let's buy that. And I'll buy... I don't know. Oh, I can't buy that one. Let's buy... that. I don't know what that one is down there. Is it speed up? It's speed up, I think. Whoa, I'm super fast. I think that's made it worse, because I am just going to crash into things now. Oh, it's really fast and twitchy. Oh god. So that was speed up. Didn't look... Oh, jeez. I don't know if that's worth buying. Oh, is it vertical only speed up? I don't know what's going on. Well, I'm stuck with it now. Whoa, it's just super twitchy now. We are stuck with it. I don't know, has it made it better or worse? Who knows? Oh no! I couldn't get through that. That's ridiculous. Oh yeah, I'm so slow now. So slow. It's like one speed up sends you insanely fast. Oh god. That's the backwards controls, by the way. That's what did me there. Oh, this has all gone wrong really quick. It has gone wrong so quickly. Right, at least I remembered that then. There's no coming back for this. Like, if you buy extra lives, you can't get the power-ups. You just need to not die. Oh, I should have got those extra 2 coins. They would have really helped in here. Right, let's just see how far we can get. Before we get murdered. I've got no lives and no health. No lives, no health. Look at the money though. Missed some of it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy the speed up. I think it's too... I think just ship's too twitchy with it. Too goddamn twitchy. Chances of me getting through this bit here, pretty small. Uh-oh. Oh, they've gone. Okay, I didn't get any money for them. Right, the parking at this shop, remember, is bad. Ugh. Right, I think the long shot's the one that you want. This first level is your goat puzzle. It's not. It's just really hard. Don't you get health from the shop? No, you can buy lives, but you can't buy health. I don't think you can. So that's the problem. You can never get your health back. If you go into the shop with 0 health, you're better off dying first. It's really bad. A bit of a flaw in the game. I think those are speed. Yeah, they are. But is it like vertical and... Is it bullet speed? What is that one? I don't know what that one is. Oh, this happens in R-Type. Collect too many speed-ups and it's unplayable. Yeah, well, I think the first speed-up is unplayable on this one. You're really slow by default and the first speed-up is just horrible. Anyone been on hold when ringing up doctors? Very similar hold music, yeah. Gives that feeling of being scared watching the Equalizer in the lift. This feels like music for a 90s demo disc. Well, it kind of is a 90s demo disc almost. How can the enemies fly through walls? They can, and they can shoot through walls. The ant looks like a life. It is, yeah, because that's the same. If you look in the game, it's the picture that's at the bottom of the screen. Oh my god. I just went straight to a wall. Right, well, there you go. Right, let's go back to sound effects. I think the sound effects do help a little bit with the gameplay, but I also do like the music. Right, let's not go to the submarine level. Not yet. Rip. Yep. There we go. We're back to sound effects. Pew, pew, pew. I think the trick is to get enough money on this first section. What kind of scummy game reverses your controls in the middle of a shmup as well? Come on. Scummy, that is. Oh, didn't shoot that guy. Right. They could have given the propeller sound a whirring sound. Come on, DMA. Yeah, they didn't do that. Scumbags. And the each level's got a different ship though, so that is pretty cool. Like each level you play as a different main ship, so it's a jetpack and a submarine. So that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Right, I'm going to save my money. Let's save my money for the next thing. I think, because I want the long shot. The long shot's going to really help. Tactics now. We've got to get the tactics right. I wonder if these guys will come around and I can actually get the money off them. No, they're no better up there than they were before. Whoa, hello. Gotta get that cash. It's all about like Twitch. It's like about getting the cash. That's what it's all about. Right, equipment. Right, I definitely want this long shot. And I can't buy anything else. Pew pew pew. Yeah. Are you in space? How does a helicopter work in space? I am not in space. One of the levels is in space. One of the levels is underwater. And I can't remember the other one. So I know you saw a spaceship at the start, but this is not the spaceship level. This is the helicopter level. It'll all make sense. The story's amazing. Amazing story. Yeah, this long shot makes a difference on bits like this where you can actually, like, shoot those things before you get anywhere near them. But you do have to be careful about flooding the screen with bullets, because sometimes it'll stop you from shooting because there's too many sprites on the screen. Right, and I'm not going for that 25 because I get murdered because of the backwards controls. There you go. So this is... it's definitely going better than before. Oh, forgot about that and then remembered. That was like 4 sound effects playing at once, wasn't it? The phasing was like 4 sound effects. It's like the shops are good. You get a break in the shop though. That's all right. Looks like space. No, this is well. It might be space. It might be a space helicopter. Who knows? Imagine how big those missiles are in real life. If they are in proportion to helicopter, they are big. We know they are big. Right. So I think if I buy this, I've got all. Well, you can buy these bombs as well, but that's pretty much all the power-ups I need. And then I should just buy lives, really. Oh, I just hit the corner of that thing then. So that money can buy me lives. That's what's good about the money. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Right. Yeah, you can really get yourself done in here. Look, bullets. Bullets are coming for me. Do you know what? I'm not going to go for that shot because it's just going to murder me. I've waited too long. Yeah, I think there is definitely a sprite problem. There's bits where it looks like I'm not shooting, but I am. But I'm just running out of bullets. Oh, these guys. Hello. Whew, it's all about not dying. But that's like every game, isn't it? Just don't die. Shop! Phew, you get a break in the shop. Quick, there's a helicopter attack. Release the bubbles. Yeah, you can see someone doing that. Release the bubble machine. Bubbles, it's the prisoner. Yeah, it is. What joystick are you using, Dave? I brought a quick shot for £15 the other day. Effing brilliant. This is a Zipstick. This is the icon on my channel. This is the picture I took of this Zipstick. These are all right, but they hurt your hand after ages. I'm betting on Zipstick based on the sound. Hey, well, there you go. You bet on it. You're right. Can't beat Competition Pro. I prefer these actually. I think it's a Competition Pro over there. This is better. It's got no autofire on that thing, and you really want autofire. Chopper. Get to the chopper. Yeah. I got a Competition Pro gives me blisters. Yeah, they all do. They're rubbish. They're all rubbish. Look at this. Look what I've got. I've got enough money for not 1 life, but 2 lives. How stupid is that? Should I have bought 2 lives? That's what I've done. That is what I've done. How silly is that? What were DMA thinking, with these insanely long levels? There's a lot of stuff going on the screen here. Oh, bullets everywhere. Help. Help me. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I made it through. Somehow I made it through. Right, this bit I got done last time here, didn't I? Ugh, I've made it. That bit's horrible. Hardly got any money out of that one as well. How am I going to get through here? This is horrible. Huh. It's like, geez, every bit you get through is like crazy. Save. Yeah, gonna save. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy another life. This is crazy. I'm just buying lives like crazy. Because you know what? You're probably gonna need them at some point. Because it's all gonna go wrong. I wonder what the limit on lives is. Do you need to finish the level with enough money to buy into the next stage as well? What if I finish with less than 200 credits? Oh, I just took some damage there. Could hear it. Or was that the... Ah! I did. I took a load of damage. I took a ton of damage. Oh, this thing moves. That's new. What happens now? Where do I go? Up or down? What's going on? Down. Oh god, it's just crazy. Oh, what's going on down here? I'm not going in that shop. It's a death trap. That shop has bad parking. Let's face it. Oops. Right, okay, that's bad news. That's all bad news. Oh, these give you money. Oh no, reverse controls. Hello. Right, remember that. There's reverse controls there. Jeez! I didn't have enough time to get through. No, no, I'm in the middle of a battle here. No points for taking out the turrets. Yeah, probably not. Why have they let someone open up a shop for their private military installation, sell weapons to invading choppers? I don't think it's an invasion. It says it's like I don't know if it's like a game show or something. Or they're trying to say it's like a competition or something like that. I tell you what though, I'm getting murdered. That I know. I need this money. Right, this looks bad. Could this be a boss that I've forgotten how to do? Oh, it's not. It's not a boss. If I look worried, it's because it's just so stressful, this game. It's like you could just die in an instant. I've got to get that cash as well. Got to get that cash. I think the terrain's your worst enemy here. Right, I could buy an extra life, or I could buy this. See how long this gets me. Oh, it's Smash TV. Yeah, nearly. Oh, it's the Grogus. The Gogus, not the Grogus, sorry. Thinking of Grogu. Playing Blood Money? I am. This is actually a good game. I will say it. It's a good game. It's a very hard game, but that's how it worked back in the day. Oh dear. It was hard. Look at this. What are they doing to me here? Guys, DMA, what are you doing? What have you done? As if it wasn't hard enough. Oh my word. Evil people. Have I got enough to buy anything? Huh, no. Got not enough to buy anything. Useless. It's pleasing to watch. It's actually quite stressful to play though. It's like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. And the level's enormous. Oh, there's nothing for killing them. Oh, I'm dying from the bullets. Oh, this looks like it was the wrong way to go, right? Oh, that was so wrong, what I just did there. I've just missed the shop as well. Great. This is not great. I'm not going in. They can't buy anything in that shop anyway at the moment. Or maybe I could have bought some bullets. Uh-oh, I was being shot there. This is just nasty, this game. Oh, am I going to get... Oh, it says danger. What's the danger? Uh-oh, is this a boss? It looks a bit empty, big empty space. Is that a boss? With no power-ups. Yep, it's a boss. Okay, I forgot there was a boss, I'll be honest. I'm hitting him. I'm dead. Let's cheese him. Oh, this is awful. I did it! Oh my god, I did a level. I actually did a level. I think. Unless that's not the end of the level. Jeez. Hydrate. Jeez. Are we allowed to take a back seat? Yes. Yes. You are. I'd not heard that thing about backseating before until I saw that guy not able to do that puzzle and he didn't want any help, which nobody gave him any help and he didn't get anywhere. I thought that was pretty amazing. Still less things to kill you than the Japanese bullet hell games. Yep, but still hard. Yeah, but you move so slowly in this game. And yes, you can buy a speed up as we found out before, but then you move so fast that you just kill yourself on the terrain. Never-ending level. Yeah, I mean, a game with 4 levels is going to be hard. Futuristic Pac-Man. Cyber Pac-Man. Ah, there we go. Whoop, well played, nice, and clap, clap, clap. Thank you very much. He still hasn't passed the go. Well, I got past something. You should play Deuteros. Is that because you think I like really hard games now because I'm playing this? This is a super hard game. It's super hard. That's all I can really say. Right. Onwards and upwards. Oh, so they must have given me some money for finishing the level because now I can technically play anything. So, oh, look at that! Plundered! I have plundered it. So we can pick anything we want now. So we could pick the submarine level, or we could pick the spaceship level, or the jetpack level. 25% complete. I might go and treat myself by urinating. That might be the fun thing to do. I might treat myself before. Tell you what, you lot can decide which level I play, because I've got enough money to buy into any of these levels. If I start the game again after I die, I can play any of the first 2, like the submarine. So it might be better to go into the other levels. I don't know that any of these levels are harder than any other. I'm not sure. I tell you what, I'll make some tea, and then I'll come back and we can decide which one of these hellholes I'm going to next. Right, have we made a decision? Deuteros is a fun game, but I don't know if it's fun to watch. Fun game, but sometimes playing Excel spreadsheets. I don't even know what it is. So, Go Submarine, Lockminer Goat says. Perfect, time for some ads. Yeah, well, it would have been, but no, you just get to watch a chair and a picture of some planets. Yeah, I didn't know about that on Twitch. Like, putting the ads in, that really sucks. Bones and Runcorn. Anyone playing Jetpack on the Specky? That was tough. Well, we've got a Jetpack level here if we want it. Deuteros and also Millennium 2.2 has excellent atmosphere. Hemoglobin currency. What? I rest my case. It's a fantastic game. There you go. Jetpack level. Oh, Jazza says jetpack level. I'm going to have ads on my next stream. Old ones from the 90s. Yeah. That video I said about that I watched where somebody had done the Coca-Cola spoof, and they'd done I think it was done in the 90s. They'd done like Coca-Cola on the Commodore 64. It had got that You Can't Beat the Feeling music from the Coca-Cola advert on it, and that was stuck in my head for ages. So yeah, 90s adverts. So I'm not going to repeat it because it'll get stuck back in my head. But that was fun. That was definitely fun. I think I'm with... oh dear, you're pulling out the dad jokes. What do you say when two red blood cells get together? Coagulations. But that's not what happens when two red blood cells get together, because you've got two red blood cells together in your bloodstream all the time and they don't coagulate. So there you go. Push pop, push pop, push pop. Sorry, it's all right. I tell you what, I might do the jetpack level, because when I fail at the jetpack level, which is probably what's going to happen, we can come back on the next try, and you can go straight in at the submarine level on, as level. You can play the submarine level as level 1 if you want. I think you can anyway. When does a joke become a dad joke? When it's apparent. Apparent, I see. It's a dad joke when it's got no swearing in it. I think pretty much any joke that can be told, could be told to, say, a 10-year-old or younger without incurring any kind of legal situation, definitely a dad joke. Like the other day I did a dad joke. I did the, when that guy's doing the Lock Marnie Goat, I said, you're really milking this goat puzzle, but nobody even thought it was a dad joke. Nobody laughed. I thought it was a good one, because you milk goats, don't you? You can get goat milk. Am I right? Ask the goat. I don't know. Ask the goat. Right, I think it's Jetpack. Jetpack it is. I tell you what, though, the game is easier with the sound effects on, because you get more of an idea of what the hell is going on with the sound effects. For whatever good the music is, it's just not as interactive. Right, Jetpack. Here we go. It's loading some stuff. I like that plundered. That's good. I don't know if I'm the only one that likes dad jokes. Everybody likes dad jokes. God. Oh, look at this. Oh, little dragons. Oh, God, the little dragons are going to murder me. I like the little jetpack, though. Oh, that just murdered me. Did you see that? Oh, what the hell is this? DMA, what were you thinking? Oh my God. Well, I needed to die anyway, because I can't go in a shop with that small amount of health. Oh, look, they changed the doors. More dragons. At least the enemies are different. Equipment! That's what I need. Right. Let's buy a life, because I'm going to need one. And let's buy this. And let's do something a bit crazy and buy the long shot. Serves you right for not getting my hemoglobin currency quip. Hemoglobin currency quip. Did I not get that one? Where was that? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't get that one. Those are so puny. Don't be a silly Billy. That's a good one. That's a good one. Basically, there's a guy on Twitch right now called Quantum P1, and he is doing Broken Sword with no backseating. So he's never played the game before, and he's trying to do it without any help. And he's got to the world's hardest puzzle in any game ever. And he's been on it for 3 streams, and he's still not asking for help. But if everybody can think of goat dad jokes and go into his stream when he's doing it and give him goat dad jokes, that won't help him at all, but it will make me happy. I stand back with my bullet hell analogy. This game is like bullet hell. It's just become bullet hell. It's a goat joke. Get a life or some. I do hope this game has weapons more substantial than the P-shirt. Well, it does, but they don't change between levels. The enemies do. Oh, whoa, hello, spikes. That's new. Oh, and they got done in by the spikes. The spikes are really not helping. Yeah, it's making it hard. I really want the stuff, you see, but I'm not going to get the stuff because of the spikes. That's my problem here. I say the enemies can shoot through walls. I can shoot through walls too. Oh, what's this? What's this hell? Oh, they give you money. Rocks. They were the rocks at the start of the game. The rocks don't give you money. They're useless. Oh, this is not good. Right. We are in trouble in this game. Here we go. Rocks. Oh, these aren't really dying. Let's put it that way. Equipment! No, I need equipment. Right, I might die coming out of here. But we've got to do it. Very spiky. That's defo specky jetpack on steroids, yep. Spike Milligan. Yeah. Try Super Stardust Asteroid Shmup. There you go. Oh yeah, Super Stardust. That's got good music, hasn't it? Really funny me is that the currency in this game is still dollars, meaning in the future America is a multi-galactic currency, but it isn't said which dollars used in this game. Could be Canadian, or it could be Australian. I made it out of there alive. Let's put it that way. These doors. Oh, I've got to push these rocks out of the way. I mean, at least it's reasonably varied, this game. Like, the enemies are different here. That's how you got to do it. You got to line them up and get all the cash. Right, where are they coming from now? Below, above, behind? I'm scared. Nowhere. What? Am I going to get done here? What's happening? Here they are. So you want the money, but you'll die if you get it. You'll just die. Whoa, hello, I should have gone round here. Okay, thank you, game. I'm going to die now, I can tell you. Now I've got the pea shooter. There, look at this. Look what they've done to me. Hell on earth. Well, it's not even earth, is it? Milk the cash cows, yep. What is dice? What is DICE? Oh, developed by DICE. Oh, okay, DICE the developer, yeah. I was going to say DICE the developer. They developed the... Is it Did they do the Call of Duties or something? They did other stuff as well. Get Rich or Die Trying. Superstar was developed by Housemarque, who still come out with a stinker every so often. Okay. Right. There's still hope yet. Oh, no, there's not. Right. I've got no lives. I can tell you I'm not. Oh, well, hello. That's not good. Oh, that's awful. That is awful. I think if analog sticks were a thing when this game was out, it'd probably be a bit easier because the movement is so like digital. It's really bad. Not that I could have avoided that. Yeah, that was definitely the Spike Million section. You were wasted. Let's see how well I did on the high score table. Wow, I only got halfway. That's really bad. Right. Let's have a look at... I can play the submarine level. I can play it. Let's have a quick look at that. And then we'll listen to some mods while I maybe install Syndicate for another time. Yeah, I can go to submarine level. Bloodhouse. Bloodhouse. I'm not even checking if the stream's watching or people are watching it. It says there are 14 people watching. That's insane. That's like, oh, it's like I've hit the big time. DICE in Amiga World were called Digital Illusion, mostly famous for pinball games like Pinball Dreams. Wasn't Pinball Dreams good? Look at this. This looks a bit like R-Type, like the second level of R-Type. Submarines. Oh, those jellyfish are good. They are nicely animated jellyfish. They're also going to murder me. Yeah, this is a little bit R-Type, this level. OMG. Got just enough to buy something. Hey, Davy Jones's Locker. That's Davy Jones who wrote this. Because you're under the water. Oh, I just got murdered. I wasn't watching. These things are... Oh my god! This is crazy. There's crabs. Oh, the crabs don't give you any money. Yeah, this is very R-Type inspired. This is definitely level 2 of R-Type. The environment is your worst enemy in this game. Because you're just trying to not crash into the environment. These like things that you've got to shoot here, you're just more likely to just slam into the environment than you are to shoot the actual baddie. Oh, I just needed 10 more. There's nothing I can buy in that shop. Oh, hello. Whoops. Let's do it. This is completely rubbish. Oh my god, I got absolutely rinsed on that level. Rinsed. Yeah, it wasn't DICE who developed Super Stardust. It was Pinball Dreams. Okay. And am I right? DICE are the people who did one of the Call of Duties. Am I right? Is that DICE? Is DICE now not the developer? It's now the engine that they make. They made Battlefront in it and stuff, didn't they? Is that right? Am I getting this wrong? I'm completely misremembering all of this. They did Battlefield, right? Yeah, and the engine's called DICE. The developer's not called DICE. The engine's called DICE. Is that right? Or is it they're both called DICE and the engine's called DICE? Oh dear. Where's Syndicate? I love you. DICE do Battlefield. Right, there you go. John DC with all the facts. Syndicate's in the box behind me. I'm probably going to install it in a minute. Hello. Today, not more Lemmings. There is no more Lemmings because I have finished it. But I can tell you this. I have purchased, which hasn't arrived yet, a copy of Oh No, More Lemmings, which I've never played. They make... Oh, the engine's called Frostbite. Right. The developer's called DICE. The engine's called Frostbite. There you go. A new game. This is a new game. This is Blood Money. I've been playing this for an hour or so. This is a hard game, which I finished back in the day. And I did manage to finish a level. Confirmed, I finished a level. You're only here for Syndicate. Well, I'm not going to be playing Syndicate today, but I might try and install it because it says it's hard disk installable. So in a minute... in fact, I'm probably going to do it now. What am I talking about? I'm going to do it right now. But that's good. Blood Money's good. I'm very happy with that. It's just rock hard. So if you want a rock hard game to play, that's your game. My thumbnail said Syndicate. You're right. It's just a picture of Syndicate, and Blood Money was there too, actually. There was a picture of this. Let me put the big screen on. There you go. Because I bought this. I don't know why. I just went on eBay and there was a copy of this. I think it was 20 quid. And I thought, well, it looks in good condition. One thing I found about buying these games off eBay is I'm not that bothered about the box. But if you see somebody who's got a box and the box is in good condition, that means they've looked after the box, which means they've looked after the discs, and the discs probably work. I have never tried the discs in here, so they may not work because they are 30 odd years old or whatever. 30 years old now. So they might not work at all. But there's a good chance they do when you see a box that's in good condition because somebody cherished it. They cherished it so much. I think you're forgetting I know where you live. You had that box. Yes, there you go. Well, I've got the box now. Maybe this was your box. Who knows? I've never played this game, so I don't know how good it is. It seems very nice. Well, it does. It does. Let me first stick Hippo Player back on, and then we'll try and install this while we're doing Hippo Player. Who knows if that's even going to work? You just never know. You never know what you're going to get. Let's stick the Shmups stream back on. Shmups. Whoops. Stuff. Because there's some good tunes on here somewhere. Oh, there's the Blood Money one. Blood Money. Let's add that. Haha, yeah, we were just playing this.
There's a whole lot more coming.
The biggest unanswered question
Shmups.
A whole lot more coming.
There you go. So we can install Syndicate whilst playing Blood Money. I know where the king lives. I just have one big box game. It's Deus Ex, which is one of my favourite games of all time. All right. Still really expensive. Complete big box games have become. Yeah, well, this one. I don't know if that's right. I think this is £20, and I've bought Oh No More Lemmings, which was £20, and the box on that looked decent as well. So that might even work. You never know. Shmupsy. I loved the OG boxes until you had 10 games and your whole little box room shop was full. Yeah. Yeah, it was getting a bit silly, was it? I mean, this is crazy. When you see what's in here, it's mostly packing. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Well, there's some hang on. Too much stuff. There's a bit of bubble wrap in here. Right, this is what you get. You get a sheet about Syndicate. You get a little booklet. Oh, it smells new, actually. It's blacker than black. It's like none more black. And you get the discs. Oh, oh my god, how many discs is this on? Oh, it's on 4 discs. So I've got 4 discs. What's the chance of all these working? And then if you look inside, it's mostly having to be packed out because it doesn't need all that space. So there you go. So most of this is empty space. Right, so how do I install this thing onto the said hard disk? Because that's what I want to do. It's literally here on the quick start card. Remove all floppy disks from your Amiga. Here we go. Turn the Amiga on. Yeah, okay, I've done that. We get that. After entering Workbench, that's what I'm in now. Might as well put it on big for you. Insert Syndicate Disk 1 into any available disk drive. Where's Disk 1? That's Disk 3. Here we go. I'm going to try this. You think these discs are going to be good? They look alright. I think they've been kept well. Right, I'm following the instructions. Double left click on the Syndicate disc icon. Okay. Is that SD1? This? Okay. This is this? Bet you this doesn't work in 3.2 or something like that. Oh, look at this! Install! Double click the install icon. How easy could this be? Oh, wow. Installs to a directory Syndicate within specified path. Specified path must exist. But what's the... oh, that's great, because how do I get out of this now? Right, what's the path that I want? It's... What? I've got stuff. I can install it to stuff. Right. Right, can I get rid of this path yet? Stuff. Oh, path must exist, but okay. Can I get out of this, please? Whoa, look at this. Cool. Look at that. So I have to make a path. So let's go in here. Right, okay, let's make it first. You could have told me that before I did it. Let's make a new folder in here. Oh, apart from a drawer, sorry, not a folder. Hello? Where's the... There we go. Let's make a games folder. Icons? Okay. Rename me. So this has got to exist, so I'm creating it. Syndicate. How cool is this? I'm actually installing a game. This is like a modern game when you're installing it. Right. Here we go again. Whoops. This must exist. Stuff. Oh, it's double typing me. Stuff. Game. Oh, this is not good. Games. / It's got really bad. Oh, it's really not doing well. It's just double typing things. It's really twitchy, the keys on that. Is that right? Stuff Games Syndicate. You got to really keep your fingers off the keys for a short amount of time. Hang on a second. You know what, Dave? I hate to say it, Cannon Fodder is the winner so far. Cannon Fodder is the winner for what? It's a really good game, though, Cannon Fodder. I do like Cannon Fodder. I've got to say, I really like Lemmings as well. Lemmings is a great game. In Poland, original big box games weren't very popular, so they are fairly rare now, especially that everybody in the 90s just pirated games, yeah. It's Dave. Syndicate, great, but a bit sluggish on A500. Curious to see on A1200. Well, it says on the box, recommends a 1200 or 3000 or 4000. It actually does recommend. It says you can play it on anything, but they are recommending a 1200. So there you go. I've noticed you don't support my streams, Depu. Crota is back. Streams? Are you streaming it? Crota is back again? Crazy. How many times can they bring that dude back from the dead? There's a 3D shooter also named Syndicate on Xbox 360 by EA. I think it's in the same universe, but it's crap. Complete pack. Let's see if the floppies work. I've got high hopes for it because it looks like they've been kept very well, but you never know what you're going to get in the big city. And music by Skrillex. It makes it the most 2012 game ever. Hang on, let me start this going. I'll read the rest. Right, let's see if this works. Right, so it's just going to copy all the files into that folder. It's making a right noise. Oh my god, there's such a massive manual. Oh, it's huge. Oh, this is really cool though. This has been, somebody's cherished this. This has been kept very well. I shall try and keep it the same. Do you think this is not working? It must work because it says it's designed for a 1200. It says recommended. Or do you think the disc is balked? That sounds horrible. Oh, I don't know about this. This could be end of Syndicate immediately. It just sounds like it's in a repeating loop, the floppy drive. Okay, so yeah, complete pack. Let's see if the floppies work. I don't know. This doesn't sound good, does it? Make a folder. Yes, make a folder. Son's gold and yellow filter all over the place. Obscure trivia. Blood Money cover art was previously used on Orbit's UK sci-fi paperback protector by Larry Niven in the mid-70s. Oh, right. I know because I have a copy. I did not know that. So it wasn't done for the game. Is Hocus Pocus PC only? I don't know. I think I have to link a Crota clip I would like to share with you, if that's okay. I don't. If you share links on here, it's not gonna work. I think this is. I don't think this is reading at all. Does anybody remember installing Syndicate back in the day and it making this disgusting? Oh, it did do a little write to the hard disk then. Yeah, it's like reading the floppy, but it's not writing to the hard disk, so it doesn't make any sense. Do you think there's something wrong with my floppy drive? Or do you think there's something wrong with this disk? That can't be right, can it? I like Deus Ex Human Revolution, but really all games in that era had either yellow gold piss filter or desaturated blue filter. Yes, I remember that. I know what you're talking about now. There's that Tom Clancy game that's got it. It's got the yellow gold piss filter all over it. Oh dear. And the desaturated blue filter is Assassin's Creed 1. I think it's not like that. Not an install normal for Amiga game. And then Guru Meditation. It's not Guru Meditating, but it's not the hard. I don't think you can see it, but the floppy drive light's on and it's making that horrible noise, but the hard disk light isn't going at all. I always use WHD loaders if there is such an option. Games run better on A1200. Yeah, games of that era certainly had many shades of brown. Yeah, the golden filter is a special thing. Nothing had a filter of a particular shade. Well cultivated Wii. Right, this is it's like stuck in a loop. It's totally stuck in a loop. Stop! That whatever that program is, it's still running. It's now reading the disk while reading the disk. Wonder if this is a 3.2 thing. Maybe it doesn't work with 3.2. Oh, I've got to reboot the Amiga because I can't get out of this now. I mean, it's working. Let me just reboot. Stop. That's really loud in the room. The mic probably doesn't pick it up as much, but that's super loud in the room. Saying that, let's just try booting it from the. Let's just boot from the disk and see what it does. Yeah, so the disk is working, but it can't install it. That's interesting. I wonder if that's a 3.2 problem then. Probably on 3.2. Think everyone just uses WHC load. Yeah, it's a shame though, because like this stuff, like it's just so incompatible. The 1200, isn't it? So even on a box that says this works on a 1200, it's not working on a 1200. It's like it works on a 12. I'm saying that it probably does list the Workbench version. Where is it? It says Kickstart supported 1.2, 1.3, 2, and 3.0. So it actually went all the way up to 3.0, which is probably what shipped with the 1200, isn't it? But 3.2 doesn't work. And you require a mouse. Maybe we'll try the hard disk install again and just see what we get. Look at this, though. Anyway, it looks like the discs work. Do something about your internet, bro. It's always lagging. What do you mean? What do you want me to do about... Are you talking about my internet? My internet's not lagging. It's totally not. If there's something lagging, it's YouTube. It's not me. Is that Darth Vader? Oh, this is such a cool intro. But this whole first disc is just this. 1993. There you go, no lag. I've dropped 0 frames in 2 hours 31 minutes. The text on the screen on the video display lags a bit, but that's just because that's the way that works. But I'm not reading that text, I'm reading the other one. I was about 4 in 1993. Well, that's probably you don't remember the Amiga, yeah. For me, the problem, it is the 3.2 ROM. Probably. I think you're right. This disc, I mean, it looks fine. It looks like it's been kept really well. I love this game, but played it on the PC. On PC, it's running 640 by 480 in 16 colours. I mean, it's probably 16 colour on this, isn't it, I bet? 13 in 93. Insert disc 2. Well, let's see if disc 2... We know disc 1 works. Kind of works. So it's the program that they've written to copy the disc. I wonder if you can just... I wonder if we can just copy the files into the folder and run it like that. Is that all that program's trying to do? Should we try that? Let's have a look. On your chosen hard disk partition subdirectory, e.g. work games, you press return to install this program. Now, the install program now creates a subdirectory called Syndicate. Okay, so I shouldn't have made the Syndicate subfolder. That's one thing. Insert Syndicate's disk 2 to 4 as prompted. Right, okay. I wonder if I can just copy it in. Let's boot up Workbench. So first thing it says, maybe I shouldn't have made the Syndicate folder, maybe that's confused it. I'll try that first. Theoretically, you could boot Workbench 3.1 from floppies and then install Syndicate. Yeah, maybe. But I think it might be the Kickstart that's the problem. Could be the Kickstart. That could be the problem. So it says don't make a Syndicate folder. Where is the... It's icons delete. Weird. Warning, you cannot get back what you delete because there is no recycle bin. Because it was the 90s and we hadn't invented it yet. Let's just see. Let's try this again. I mean, because Workbench itself is having no trouble reading this. So it's just this program is a bit weird. Okay. Let's just try that. Do we need to put a slash on the end? Do you want me to put a slash on the end or what? It just says EG work games. Let's try that. Oh. That's working. So it got really confused by the fact I told it, I made the Syndicate folder and then it tried to make Syndicate and it couldn't do it. It actually does say here, it's going to, it says EG work colon games and return. It says the install program now creates a subdirectory called Syndicate. If I just kept reading, it would have told me. So it does work. It totally works. That is really crap though, that you make a folder and it just confuses the hell out of it. I'm pretty sure all it's doing is it's copying these. It's just copying these files onto the hard disk, so it's not doing anything fancy. I don't think it's doing like a fancy install here. Yeah, it's just copying files. Alien Breed, insert disk 2. Not much space for a bin. There is the trash can. Yeah, there is. Not for that, though. I can only do snares with a Super Effects B-chipped Starwing. Because it was the EU version until we get to 1996. Rallocake 3.0, don't ask me how. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't have done that anyway. Yeah, but I think Rallocate works because the original Amiga 1000 could boot the Kickstart from disk. So they all basically supported it. You can technically boot your Kickstart from disk. It works. Yeah, it does. Have you seen Payday 3? No, I've seen that it's come out, but I haven't really seen it. But I know I watched. Actually, I did watch Ackman's video about it. He just said it was awesome, but he was also sponsored by them. But what he hadn't played Payday 2, so he did this whole video about Payday 3 saying how awesome it was. And I looked at it, but I thought, well, what's different with Payday 2? Because he'd never played it. But everything he said in the game was like, but we've seen all this in Payday 2, so what's different in Payday 3? That's the bit I don't get. Some games could decompress games from disk in their installer. Yeah, this might be doing that, but it looks to me like it's just copying these files as they are, and the game itself is going to decompress them. Payday 3 is free to play. Really? That's interesting. Right. Does that make it better or worse? Oh, and it's crossplay. Right. Interesting. It's gone free to play. Maybe they ran out of money to make from Payday 2 because everyone owned it. Like everybody in the universe owns Payday 2. I thought it was on. I didn't realize it was free to play. I saw it. I saw it was on Game Pass. So I thought, oh, I can just play this on Game Pass or whatever. Didn't realize it was actually free to play. Everything's gone free to play, hasn't it? It's something about free to play games though that they're a bit. You know, it's like almost like you prefer to like. I wish I could pay for this and then just have a game rather than have a free to play game with loads of crud in it. Partner in crime. We need to steal some diamonds. It is a good game, Payday though. Don't trust free to play. There you go. You see, yeah, it's just like I just want the game, and I don't want to, play a game with billions of microtransactions in it. Like Halo's like that now. Halo's gone free to play, and it's the same thing. It's got loads of like stuff. Buy 200 credits for a level up and do all this. It's like, please. But I'm having trouble. I've been trying to play Halo Infinite. Every now and again, if I've got like 10 minutes, I'll try and play a game of Halo Infinite, and most of the time, I can't even get into the game. The servers don't work. Well, at least not for me. So there you go. Look at this. I'm installing a game. That's good. It means I don't have to wreck the floppies as well. Old free-to-play games were fun, meaning open source multiplayer games like Cube 2. Yeah, those days are gone, aren't they? Those days are gone. It's like multiplayer games now just have to be free to play. They just have to be, apparently. There is no paid-for multiplayer game, is there? I don't think so. Matchmaking is buggy. No microtransactions. Exactly like Payday 2. New weapons, new perks, new levels. Yeah, Payday 2. I think they did try... The guys who did Payday 2... I can't remember the name now. They did try and do like a World War II game that was a bit like Payday, and that just really failed really badly. So they went back to doing Payday 2, just carried on with Payday 2. The campaign in Halo Infinite is alright, I think so anyway, even though it seemed to temporarily murder my PC. Yeah, I don't know the campaign. I've played it and I've not got much memory of it, so that means it's probably not very good. If I played it again, I'd have to tell you. I don't remember being super bored by it, but it's not sticking in my memory like Halo 3 or Halo 1 or something. Please reboot. Reboot? Are you serious? From Workbench, double click to go on, or from CLI, type go in a new directory to run. Go? Why do I have to reboot? Are you absolutely joking me? That's not right. So there you go. This has been totally like has been totally preserved, this game. It looks really, really good. So that's the thing about buying games with good boxes. It's not because you want the good box, it's because you want the game to work. And yeah. So it works on Amiga 500, 500 plus 600 with 600 with 1 megabyte of RAM and 1.5 megabytes if you want a hard drive. So this will run on the 600, but you need a RAM upgrade, and it'll install on the hard drive. Oh, A600 with hard drive requires 2 megabytes of RAM. There you go. Recommended a 1200, a 2000, or a 3000. Kickstart supported all the way up to 3. You need a mouse. There you go. Made in England. That is so cool. Hard disk installable game. This was like, at this point, that was the future, wasn't it? Installing your game. Who could have believed it? Surely I don't have to reboot here. What? I pressed escape. And is it just going to reboot now? Well, that's the world's crappiest installer. It's just, I literally do have to reboot. They weren't even joking. That's absolute weird. I don't know why they needed to do that. They could have just sent you back to the OS. Do you remember how many hours we put into that museum heist on Overkill? I seem to remember playing that a lot. Yeah, I don't think we ever did it, did we? Was the museum one the one where you couldn't? It was on Overkill, so if you did actually get the police coming, you were dead, weren't you? I remember us having a lot of trouble with it. It's a good game though. I remember us getting the. Do you remember getting the? Is it you got to get the diamond in like less than 60 seconds or something? You got to rob the diamond store, get the diamond in less than 60 seconds. And we did it. I'm sure we did it. If anybody hasn't played Payday 2, none of this is going to make sense to you. But Payday 2 is a 4-player cooperative heist game. So you rob banks and you rob like shops and stuff like that. And you can go in with guns blazing or you can go in with stealth. And so there's only one level, I think, where you have to go in with stealth, but you can do it either way. But there's an achievement on one of the levels. There's a diamond shop that you rob at the start, a jewelry store. And there's a diamond in one of the safes. And it's really hard to get in the safe and the police come and, all kinds of stuff. But then you see there's an achievement to rob the diamond store in 60 seconds or less. And that's when we thought, oh yeah, once you really leveled up, you can actually do this. And I remember us doing it, and we robbed the store. We went, right, we're going to do this. We had the plan, like, you get this stuff, I'll get this stuff. You've got to go in and get the diamond. I've got to do this. And we got the diamond, broke into the jewelry store, got the safe open, got the diamond, got back to the van in 60 seconds. Meanwhile, there was a random with us, and he had no clue what was going on. And we were like, get to the van. He just wasn't doing. He couldn't believe like that we'd robbed the diamond in less than 60 seconds. But yeah, it's pretty cool that. Because when you first start, like that level can take you like, you can be there for half an hour or whatever, like fighting off the police and drilling into the safe and doing all this crazy stuff. But that was really funny. You've got this wrist harpoon. Yeah, the wrist harpoon thing that you can climb and leap around. It's good fun. Yeah, you got like a lot of grapple weapon. And you can figure out how to use it in conjunction with a melee attack. Kind of breaks the whole game, but never mind. Yeah, you can use it to get in vehicles as well. Pretty much most fans of Halo's praise the original Bungie trilogy, meaning 1, 2, 3, and ODST. After that, Halo games were created by 343. Yeah, also Halo Reach is probably one of my favourite Halo games, I would say. Halo Reach is one of my favourite games ever. I would say that. There's an absolute sheer cliff of quality drop-off from Bungie to 343. Totally the case. I don't think so. I think Halo 4 is quite good, actually, and I really enjoyed the multiplayer. I really did like it. Nobody liked the multiplayer, but I liked it, so I don't know, that's unfortunate. And I thought the campaign was actually pretty good. So there you go. Halo 5 campaign is a disaster, and I didn't mind the multiplayer too much. And Infinite's just a bit weird with this whole open world thing. Amiga hard disk installers were Wild West. There wasn't really any standard for installing games on a hard drive. Nope, there wasn't. That one made me reboot. Even the soundtrack is significantly worse with O'Donnell leaving. Well, yeah, it's not bad though. It's just not as good as the original one. But Destiny's got the same thing. Destiny got O'Donnell and he left that too. So we fucking did do it. At the end, you had to figure out the path across the pressure plates. I don't remember if we did it. I read and you ran. I just don't remember. I don't remember that bit. I remember spending a long time in it and getting done in by the cameras, and it was horrific. That's the one that if the police did come, you were done. I tell you what, the trailer, the Overkill, when they released Overkill, like the difficulty level on Payday, that trailer they did for it, I watched that about 10 times because it's just such a good trailer for a game where they've got the two guys having the reload standoff in the middle of the street. Two guys with the body armor, and they've realized they've both got massive guns, but they've both run out of bullets, and they realize they both have to reload at the same time, and it's like a race to see who can get this massive gun loaded first. I think that's a brilliant trailer. I've never seen a trailer as good as that. Halo 4, I do like the faces in Halo 4. Highly impressive at the time, even now. I think Halo 4 was a really well done game. I think it wasn't as well received as the other Halos. It probably did really well, actually. But I think Halo 4 is a really good game, and in retrospect, it's a really good game as well. People just didn't like... There's a lot of people complaining about the art style. I just wasn't bothered by the art style. I don't like the way Master Chief's armor's a little bit less green. It didn't bother me, really didn't. I just tried Blood Money on my A500. I suck. You are a hero. Thank you. It is hard. It's a really hard game. I could finish that back in the day, but I've got no chance now. I'm just glad that I did a level. I forgot about Halo Reach, but yeah, also that. Halo Reach is the definitive Bungie Halo game. It is really good, and it's not got Master Chief in or any of that. But it's got amazing music. Think about this. It's got an amazing story with amazing gameplay. It's got amazing music. It's got amazing multiplayer. It's got firefight mode as well. It's got 4-player co-op, and it's got 4-player co-op with internet play as well. It's literally had everything, and it's got Forge in it as well to make your own maps. It literally had everything. After that, they got less and less. Like the co-op disappeared, and like the split screen co-op and all that kind of thing. Even like multiplayer campaign didn't even make it to some of the Halos. Halo Reach was the pinnacle of the Halo game, I think. It was, and until they do one that's better. We did it. It was epic. I remember it like it was yesterday. It just shows we have very one-sided relationship. It's give and take. I give, you take, bastard. Well, I do remember doing it. I just don't remember that bit. I remember the 60-second diamond more than anything. I remember that. I remember that guy not getting in the van. I was just like, come on, you, for God's sake. Don't know if you remember the faces in Halo 4, but it used the same tech as Rockstar's L.A. Noire to get those hyper-realistic face animations. But they took what L.A. Noire did to the next level. I think the animation, the graphics, and everything, the sound is very good in Halo 4. And it's a 360 game when you look at it. It's an Xbox 360 game. So you really can't fault it. Download Payday. I probably will, but I won't have any time to play it. I mean, I do this on a Saturday night, and then the rest of my week, tomorrow I end up sleeping a lot, and the rest of my week's just shot. The whole thing is just like, I don't get time to play games anymore. Not as much as I'd like. Now I have to get into Halo, but I want to play it 1 and 2 on original Xbox, and 3, Reach and ODST on Xbox 360. None of that remastered. The remasters are good. No, you should play the remasters. The remasters are better. They just got quality. They're just quality of life improvements. They haven't really changed the game. I think the remaster of the original Halo is very good. It's just like improved graphics, and you can even turn the old crappy graphics on if you want. Me, you, Mad Skills, Dan, and Payday 3. Payday 3 though is fun. It's fun, isn't it? Those heists and stuff. It's just like a proper co-op multiplayer game. There aren't that many of them. No complaints about visuals in Halo 4. Very good. The remasters are excellent, especially Halo 2. Halo 2 is still horrific to play on Legendary, so don't play Halo 2 on Legendary. It's a nightmare. Don't bother. I have done it. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. That's right. You can just press select and turn the old graphics on instantly. You can. Yeah, you can. And I think they remix the music and stuff, so it's a little bit better. But yeah, it's definitely, there's no problem playing it on the new graphics. Still like the experience of old games on old hardware. Well, that's what I'm doing here. That's kind of what I'm doing here. But I think Master Chief Collection is the place to play those games now, I would say. Definitely easier. Right, let's just see if Syndicate actually works. Let's have a... I mean, I'm not going to play it tonight, but let's have a go. So we can play this in... Look at this. It's just go. Syndicate go. Look, they've even aligned all the thing for me. Oh, look at that. That was so much faster than the floppy disk. It's not right. I'm not hearing the grinding of the disk. It doesn't seem right. Oh, wow. That is so much better than the floppy disk. Wow. Thank you, Mother, for the shirt. Yeah, there it is. I like the Star Wars theme. Yeah, it's not really Star Wars. It's more of a spaceship theme. But it's very good. This is brand new, this shirt. It's like 2 days old. Well, actually 1 day old. But yeah, it's very good. The shirt is the bomb. It looks really good on the stream as well, actually. I like it. What is going on in Syndicate? Apply polymorphic rubber coating. What? What is this? Let's make a date of it. 21,000 hours a week today. Oh, 2,100 hours a week. I don't mean, let's do 21,000 hours a week. I do want to play some Payday 3 though. It does sound like fun. It's another one of these grinding games though, isn't it? It's like you've got to grind to get 60,000 things to get your character up. It's grinding. There's a lot of grinding in video games. Look at this. Look at this. Let's just begin a mission. I have no idea what I'm going to do in this game, but we are going to... Like, what do I even do here? Brief. Okay. Accept. Special agent. Can I just accept and just want to check that this works? Oh yeah, look at that. I don't know what I'm doing in this game, so... Is it... Oh, look at that. Wow, it looks good. It doesn't look like it's got any slowdown or anything. But is that because it's on the 1200? Can I shoot? Oh, look at this. I've no clue what I'm doing here. But it works. How do I get out of the game? Menu. Restart game. There's no way to get out of this. You can't once you've started the game, you can't get out of it. That's rubbish. It's slightly rubbish. That's all I can say. Lately I've played Star Wars X-Wing with old Microsoft Force feedback joystick. That's classic. Great fun, but after half an hour my hand is sore. Yeah, I remember playing X-Wing with the Force feedback joystick. It's really good. Never did this game in the 90s. Neither did I. What is a long case? I don't know. I can't get out of this game though. It has to you just have to reboot. That sucks. So you can start the game from Workbench, but then you can't get back to Workbench. That does suck just a little bit. What is a long case? It's not brief. There you go. That is true. That is true. Let's see where we're up to with those mods. There were some good mods. Good mods. Where's the Shmups? Shmups! Right, where are we up to? Round about here? Right, we'll listen to a few tunes, then I'll go. But I've got Syndicate installed now because I managed to get through the installer. So there you go. If you're installing Syndicate, don't type the word Syndicate. Just let it do it itself. That super confused it. WHD load makes it so that any game can just quit. Most of the games you couldn't quit to Workbench even if they had HD installers. Yeah, well, I've just found that out. Why did the sardine go home from work early? Because he felt like carp. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. It's got to that time of the night. This tune slaps. It slaps. What is Xmas Amiga on your drive? It's probably just the tunes I downloaded when I did one of the Xmas streams. Each one of the folders is like one of the streams I did. I want you to know that the phone I'm using to watch you is IP65 rated. I'm currently in the shower. Make what you want of that. Are you actually serious? Are you actually naked? You're not allowed to be naked while you watch my stream. Actually, you can be naked if you want to be. I don't mind. Holy carp. Holy carp. Well, I enjoyed playing Blood Money. I've been wanting to play that since I got the Amigas out at the beginning of when I started restoring the Amiga. Been wanting to play my copy of Blood Money and it didn't work and I was so upset. It was the first thing I tried. Love the lemming in the background. I'll tell you, oh yeah, I've also got Deluxe Paint 3 box. For some when I went on eBay, there was just somebody selling that for like £1.99. So it's actually got the discs in it. I don't even know if they work. I've already got them anyway. But I've got the Deluxe Paint 3 box, which is a bit busted, but I've got them. Indie Alley, very cool game. It is a cool game. I do like it. It's rock hard, but it's fun. But back in the day, that's probably is what you wanted, because you probably didn't want to buy that game and just finish it in 2 hours and then go, okay, what next? You probably did want to have something you could come back to and like learn the levels and stuff. But I mean, super hard, that game, super hard. Microsoft Sidewinder Force Feedback Pro is great controller in games which support force feedback, and it's absolutely ridiculous how it is used in Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I did play X-Wing back in the day with that force feedback joystick, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, I think it was. And I also played, was it Descent? Descent 2 or something? It might have been Descent 2. I remember playing that a bit. That was good. There's an LGR about that joystick, yeah. How about Xenon 2? I don't know. I'm not that interested in playing Xenon 2. I don't remember the game being that great. I remember being like the intro was brilliant, but I don't remember the game being that amazing. It's very similar to Blood Money actually as well, isn't it? It's like lots of picking up coins and buying stuff in the shop. Very similar game, but just a bit weird, that game. It had millions of bullets, I remember that. I remember I was impressed with it though. Descent 3 officially had force feedback support. It might have been Descent 3. Was it Descent Free Space it was called or something? Am I right? I think it was Descent Free Space. I'm so naked. Deluxe Paint 3, OMG, that Pharaoh image was sick. That is true. Best space shmups on the Miggy. Well, I'd say Blood Money is one of them. Descent 3 is not so good as 1 and 2. Yeah, it might have been Descent. Am I thinking of it? Is it Descent Free Space? It was a space shoot 'em up. It wasn't. I think it's Descent Free Space it was called. Xenon 2, play it. I might do it at some point. I pretty much know Xenon 2 for the bomb the base song. That's what everybody knows it for. Free Space is different to 3. I think it was Free Space that I played. Free Space. Do you have an accelerator for your A1200? No, it has no acceleration. It has an 8 megabyte fast RAM expansion, which is technically an accelerator because fast RAM is faster than slow RAM. It doesn't, and it has space on it for an FPU, and I didn't even install the FPU because I thought, what am I going to do with it? So it's not accelerated at all. This is like bog standard Amiga. It's bog standard. And even the 8 megabytes of fast RAM is set to 4 because it would get confused with the PCMCIA. So it's actually just running with 4 megabytes of fast RAM. Plays Xenon 2, but it's got to have to be the Spectrum version. Yeah. I don't know what it came out on Xenon 2. I know it came out on the ST because I remember my friend at the time, well, one of my friends had an ST, and I remember playing it on the ST, or he played it at his house on the ST. But the music was rubbish on the ST. I seem to remember it being rubbish. Truly sorry. Xenon 2 is very streamlined. It's like playing Shadow the Beast, but Atari ST version. Right. I've gone stiff all of a sudden. I'll see you soon. Very much. Night all. See you later. Oh god, the ST version of Beast. Yep. I've actually got... I think... Look, what's this? Speaking of Shadow the Beast, what's this? What's this that I've downloaded? My mate who had an ST got Beast thinking it would be pretty much like the Amiga version. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let me shut this drive up. And a pinball. I laughed and laughed. I laughed so much he fell out with me. And the best of all, Lotus. Oh, is that Lotus Esprit? Yeah. Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge. I remember being impressed with that back in the day, but I never really played it. I remember that driving games always looked rubbish, and Lotus Esprit was the first one I thought actually looked any good. Unless it was in the arcades. The arcade driving games were alright. They moved really fast. I don't know which Shadow of the Beast this is. Is it just the Shadow of the Beast? Assuming this is Shadow of the Beast, because I never played it. I remember I didn't like the look of the game. Didn't think it was very good. Is this the one that's in Lemmings? Because Lemmings has got Beast, Shadow of the Beast 2 or something, hasn't it? This sounds like the original Shadow of the Beast soundtrack. It might be. It's Beast 2. There you go. Grand Prix Formula 1. It's fast. I've got Grand Prix Formula 1 2. I think it's 2. But the disc 1 doesn't work, so I've never played it. I remember I used to play Revs on the BBC when I was at school. The BBC. I never had a BBC, but the BBC at school we used to play Revs. Does anybody remember Revs? And that was quite good. I seem to remember it being quite good. Very hard. Yeah, from Microprose. Microprose just did loads of Sims, didn't they? There's lots of drums going off in my right ear now. Did Grand Prix F1 come out on the ST? And was it better for that than the Amiga? The ST CPU was a bit faster. It might have done, and it might be. It was only a little bit. Was it 8 megahertz instead of 7? I can't remember now. Did they ever do XCOM on Amiga? I don't know. Revs is one of the first racing simulators, if not the first. Yeah, it was good, Revs. But playing it with the BBC keyboard was not that great. You had to like the little... I remember there was a little line on the steering wheel and you had to like... It would steer and you'd see the line go around and then it'd go back to the centre when you let go of the keys. Oh yeah, this is the music This is the music that's in Lemmings. I think so. 8 megahertz versus 7.5. Is it 7.1 or something? Yeah, a little bit faster. That might make a big difference in those days, though. Amiga 500 would have been more than enough for those types of games. Beast 2. Yeah, because it's Beast 2 in Lemmings. It says a Beast 2 of a level. That's what it says. They did, but it's rubbish. Pretty much cut corners where they can on stock A500 Alien. Turns just take forever. Oh, XCOM is that, right? I love old computers. I bought a BBC Micro when I was 43 years old. Really love the machine. I didn't like it as much back in the day because I saw it as like the school computer that was just like wasn't as good as the home computer, but ultimately it was way better than the home computers. It was built like a tank as well. Had all these like 8 slots for ROMs and stuff like that, and it had like expansion ports and you know, the green screen monitor, even though it was green screen, was like very clear, and it had disk drives and stuff like that. It's my first experience of using a computer with a disk drive and things, a 5 1/4 floppy drive. So yeah, it was definitely much better than I gave it credit for. Poor optimization. Wonderful music, this. Yeah, I downloaded loads of these guys. This Yogear guy. I downloaded a load of those off Mod.archive. I like MSX. Wow. I remember when I was really young going around to a friend's house once when I was at primary school, and he had a computer and we played some game. I can't remember the game, but I remember the graphics were rubbish. And he played on a computer, and I can't remember what that computer was. I've got this memory of playing on a computer, and I think it had orange keys, like some of the keys were orange. And I just didn't recognise the computer at the time. I was very young, and I was just like, oh, well, it's just a computer, and it's not the one I know, but it's a computer. And I'm wondering if it was an MSX, but I've really got no idea. The memory's virtually gone. I can't remember the game we played. I just remember it just looked rubbish. But we played it. It was like, I think we had fun with it, but the game looked a bit like primitive, I seem to remember. At least the MS-DOS version works. Not like Amiga, of course. It's a medley. It's really well done. Oh, so that music was just a bunch of Shadow of the Beast music. Amiga love, yeah. Buying the BBC Micro in the Netherlands was special. Were there any BBC Micros in the Netherlands? They were when we were in school in my day. We didn't really have, like, I bet every school has a computer department now, but we didn't really have much of a computer department. But we did have a room with like 10 BBCs in it. That was the whole computer department at the time. Because prior to that, there probably just wasn't a computer department. But even they were starting to look very dated very quickly. Because the PC was out and stuff like that at that time. So when you saw the computer room with all the BBCs in, you just felt sorry for the school because you thought, well, they've invested all this money in these BBCs and they're now all basically useless. But really, they were still of some use because you could still learn computing on them. They medleyed the Beast 2 music with whatever this is seamlessly. It's great. Oh, if you mean this track, this is. I don't know. You mean this one that's playing now? I don't know. This is just random order playlist. I played on BBC Micro back in the 80s in school. Did a project on Raising the Mary Rose. Okay. Yeah, I seem to remember we did in maths class once. We had to do some statistics, and they did it on the BBC. And I can't remember exactly what we did, but we definitely did some kind of statistical thing where we just did a standard deviation or something on the BBC. And I also remember a thing where they did some kind of thing where you did you answered loads of questions. Oh, I don't think that was on the BBC. We just did it in the room with the BBCs. But you answered loads of questions about the kind of career you'd want. I think they had to send it off somewhere, and it came back with a printout saying, your chosen career path is... And because I said no to most of the questions, I didn't want to do any of them, it came back with mastic asphalt spreader, which is basically a road worker. And I was like, what does this mean? What's mastic asphalt? And she said, it's because you were very negative on all of the questions. And I said, but they were all about, do you want to work with horses and going outside? I said, I don't want to work with horses, and I don't want to work outside on a farm. So it ended up with that. That was hilarious. The BBC was a real computer. You could learn from it how the computer worked. Yeah, same, like I think I was talking about that earlier, that you could learn how a computer worked with that. Because it had like an EEPROM slot on the side and stuff. I remember it's the first time I'd ever heard the word EEPROM, and I didn't know what one of those was, and it was like, oh, right, cool. This is weird. Really, a playlist all jumbled up works really well. Yeah, they're all the same guy though. This Yogi whatever. Most of them are, but it just puts them on in a random order, I think. I don't know why this one's come out, but yeah, it wasn't designed like that, but they are done by the same person. That's maybe why they mingle in a bit. Don't know if teletext on TV was created on BBC Micro because there are screen modes that just look like teletext. I think they had... I don't know, but there was a teletext... Wasn't there a teletext card or something you could get for the BBC, or a teletext adapter? So the BBC could... You could show teletext on the BBC, couldn't you? Is that right? Oh, there's something about that. There's an Adrian's Digital Basement video just recently he's done about the BBC, and he mentioned teletext. I filled in that form as well. Did you? Yeah. It was definitely like, we did it in the computer room. We weren't using the BBCs, but the BBCs were in there. We filled in some kind of form about what career questions, and then I think you had to wait till next week when it came back. Like, you didn't get it there and then. You had to go off on the computer, had to crunch the numbers, and it would tell you what your career was, and it came back with mastic asphalt spreader. And I was just so confused because I didn't know what mastic asphalt was, and I didn't know what they meant. Like, what is this job that they're recommending? I know now it just means you can dig the road. And I was like, I don't get it. But I'm sure all the questions were about working outdoors. I think it was a weird time because there weren't that many jobs in computing at the time. There weren't any jobs in video games, and that's really what I wanted to do. So none of the questions were, would you like to work in video games? Because that's what I do now, and that's what I wanted to do. But they were all questions about, would you like to work with horses? EEPROM sounds like a prom set up during COVID where they all met online. It does. It's EEPROM though, isn't it really? EEPROM. Philips made a graphics chip that did teletext and put it in the P2000T computer. I'm sure the BBC did something with teletext. Had to scribble in blocks on a page, yes. And at the end it told us the job we had to do. Yeah, that's it. That was it. They were scribbling in blocks. I think we had to wait a week though. I don't seem to remember that you got it there and then. I think you came back the next week. That's what I think happened anyway. I can't believe you did that as well. That's so rubbish. Did you get mastic asphalt spreader? Mastic asphalt spreader. I'll never. That's ingrained in my memory because I just remember the thing coming back and being dead confused and talking to the teacher. Go, what's this? Why is it recommending this? What's going on? Because I think everybody got a list of all the jobs back that they thought they could do, and I just got one, and it was that. I was like, huh? Oh, you think you ended up as joiner? Really? Is that what you are? Are you actually a joiner now? Was it right? Because I don't spread mastic asphalt, I can tell you that. It's funny, you'd think in a computer thing where it's picking a career, there would be lots of questions about computer careers. But there weren't any. Because there wasn't really many career paths in computers at the time. Like nowadays, you can do like you can do a course in video games, but at the time that didn't exist because everybody thought video games were pointless until it became bigger than the film industry and everyone's like, video games, there's loads of money in them. Is am I shite or is it I am shite? Well, I never got into mastic asphalt spreading. That's all I can say. I never made it. Not that that's not a job that we need, because it's definitely without it we'd be screwed. So somebody's got to do it. I ended up doing A-levels in English, chemistry and biology. Not what did we call it at work? Craft design and technology. That's where you did the woodwork. I did craft design and technology. I learnt nothing. The class was full of idiots. It sounds like that test in Fallout 3, which you choose random questions and it gives you a proposed job, but in real life. Yeah, that's what it was, yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing that probably exists online now, but at the time there was no online, so... And you've got to remember as well, at the time, we don't have to remember this, I'm telling you, you can remember this if you want to. At the time, a lot of people wouldn't have had a computer at home at all. So having something like that can crunch a load of numbers would be good. Like many people wouldn't have had computers. I think you're a bit of a geek if you had a computer, actually. What's your age, Dave? I'm 47 years old. I'm 48. F all to do with joinery. It's called the Jig Cal test. Really? Is that real? I'm gonna look this up. Hang on. I can't believe I mentioned this and you know what it is. This is what it is. Jig Cal test. Personality and career guidance. Oh yeah, but it looks like this is like some kind of modern thing. Is that right? I'm reading Jig Cal Australia. Oh, it says BBC Scotland, the computer that predicted the future. Oh, what's this? More than 20 years ago, a generation of school children sat down to complete a questionnaire they were told will predict their future. Is this it? This page was written in 2008. Their answers were fed into the Jig Cal computer, which filled an entire building at Edinburgh University and promised to reveal their ideal job. The arrival of the Jig Cal results was met with hysterical excitement in classrooms across the country. Many children had their dreams of Hollywood or football stardom shattered, as the computer predicted they would become wig makers or lighthouse keepers. This is it. This is the one. But the questionnaire and often bizarre career suggestions it produced remains one of the defining childhood memories for most of the estimated 4 million pupils across Scotland, England and Wales who completed it. Yeah. A BBC Scotland documentary is to transport listeners back to the early 1980s when today's generation of tech-savvy 30-somethings were still in short trousers. What? And computers were seen in science fiction movies. The Jig Cal system, an acronym for Job Ideas and Information Generated Computer-Assisted Learning, was the brainchild of Jim Kloss, an occupational psychologist teaching in the Business Studies Department of Edinburgh University. Mr. Kloss, an enthusiastic pioneer of early computer technology, believed he could harness its fledgling power to improve the careers advice pupils were given at school. In those days, the sum total of career advice was a 30-minute chat with a careers officer. Mr. Kloss recalled, this, of course, was a big disappointment that people didn't get to leave much time for the careers officers to get down to what they could really suit the student. Okay, so The first pupils to undergo the test found themselves confronted by a pencil and A4 sheet of multiple choice questions which asked them about their aptitudes, interests, likes and dislikes. They were quizzed on how much they enjoyed working outdoors, right? That's what I seem to remember. If they minded being very hot or very cold, and whether they liked children, animals or getting dirty. This is what I remember. It was all about animals and working outdoors. Has this got anything that people remember about this? It's all complete bollocks. No, I'm 44 and I had it. If you stretch the definition online, you could say that BSCs were the online in the 80s. It's exactly like that test you did in Fallout 3, the goat test in Fallout 3. Right, okay. So this is what I seem to remember. It was lots of questions about working outdoors, which I just kept saying, no, 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 I don't want to work with animals. I don't want to work outdoors. I don't want to get dirty. Okay. The computer would then churn away, do all the matching operations between the pupil's answers and its database of potential jobs before producing its results on green and white light dot matrix computer paper. The computer was very large, a huge, great beast. In fact, this was the days of the mainframe. It had a whole building to itself, which was air conditioned, and a team of operators trained to work it. The results were not returned to the school for several weeks. This is what I said. You had to come back the next week, leading to teachers the length and breadth of the country being pestered by pupils anxious to learn what awaited them in their adult lives. Many ripped open the sealed envelope to discover they would become doctors, lawyers, or scientists. Others were not quite so lucky. For those unfortunate children, the mythical computer foretold the future of pig farming, funeral directing, or wig making. Jobs which no self-respecting 13-year-old would ever consider. It says, Mr. Kloss admitted, sometimes pupils would react quite negatively to jobs that are being suggested to them. But one of the principles of the careers guidance is to broaden people's horizons by putting before them ideas that they would have never considered. I'm sure some of the people who were offended by what they got funeral director on the printouts, but now actually practicing funeral directors. Yeah, I don't think so. He revealed his own daughter went on to become a teacher when one of the options Jig Carroll presented to her while the study later found 70% of pupils went into jobs suggested by the computer. That is absolute crap. That is utter crap. And now you know it. Yep. So there you go. They even admitted that literally they were reacting negatively to the questions, and they were saying the questions there were all about, do you want to get dirty and do you want to go outside? The answer was no, and no, and no, I don't want to work with animals. So if every question was about animals, what the hell was it going to pick? It was really strange. It was just a really strange way of picking a career. Utter garbage. So there you go, I didn't know that. Jig Carroll. I can't believe that you knew what that was. You mentioned it, it's amazing. 4 million unlucky people. Well, I think I just basically at the end of that was like, okay, well that's it then. And then just ignored it. So I didn't really get any career advice at all from school. I got nothing. That was the sum total of my career advice. Become a mastic password spreader. There you go. Jig Cal. I will. There you go. That's the news article that I just read out. Anybody is interested. Can't believe it. Can't believe it took a whole building to do that as well. Something you can do on a watch now. Unbelievable. I don't know what's going on with this tune. Let's go to the next one. It's only got 5 seconds left. What's this? The Wonderful Jig Cat. I can't believe you knew the name of it. I would have never known that. That's been like, it's been like 40 years or whatever, and I never knew the name of that test. I remember doing it, and I didn't know it had a name or anything. Absolute garbage. I can't believe that even that article just basically says it. Like, there was all questions about, do you like being hot? It's just stupid. It's so stupid. It had to. I can't believe that 70% of the people went into those jobs. Absolutely no way. Yeah, but that pretty much was the sum total of my advice. I never sat down with anyone and had a career chat or anything like that. Absolutely never happened. Nobody gave me any help at all. I got no help from the giant supercomputer. Makes me wonder if there's anything better now. I bet that the thing was just a 20 questions thing anyway. This one's got no time on it. Is it infinite? Probably just had a database to compare other answers. Still weird that it was just one. It wasn't just one program on a BBC. Yeah, I think it's probably just it had a massive database of jobs and stuff. But like now, yeah, you think you could do it on a BBC, but it feels like it's the 20 questions game because a lot of that stuff back then was, you know, like the neural network thing where it's like, is it blue or is it green, and you go down the list and it ends up with a certain thing. But I don't know. I would have said for me it was a massive failure. I don't remember the woman who was in there, or whoever she was, giving me any advice though. I got the printout and then I didn't get any more. No one actually gave me any advice. It was just like, you've been too negative. And they even said it in that article, that the kids were too negative. It's like, yeah, of course we were. Of course we were, because we don't want to do any of those stupid things you're sort of talking about. That's so funny. Can't believe that. I now wish I'd kept the sheet with my answers and looked at them and said, what is all this rubbish? I think for anybody who wanted to be a vet, I bet it was perfect. I bet it came back with vet. Like, if you wanted to be a vet, do you want to work outdoors with animals? Yes. Yeah, you can be a vet. It's like, great. And I bet there was loads of people, oh yeah, it says vet and I want to be a vet. It's like, okay, cool. But it turns out if you want to be a computer programmer, which is the person who wrote the program that did it, no, that's not happening. Oh dear, oh dear. This one's a bit ravey. Which ones did we miss out down here? Was it this is one of the good ones, isn't it? Is it this one? Let's try the next one. Listen to one more and then I'm going. This one. It's 7 minutes long. These are all proper, like, original back in the day tunes, aren't they? Computer programmer isn't a real job. Sorry, you will be a road worker. Sorry about that. Pretty much sounds like, yeah. I think the database would have been. It was probably looking at jobs that exist now, and not for jobs that would exist when you leave school, which is really what I wanted. Because if you're 13, you're not going to leave school for 5 years or whatever. It's like. And computers were growing so fast at that point. There was going to be a lot of jobs in computing and stuff like that. I mean, that's the reason they had the BBCs there, really, because they knew that. So they must have, like, just thought, well, there are lots of jobs that will never go away. You know, like being a vet and a master asphalt spreader. But there was going to be a lot of new jobs, really. Computer programming being one of them was like, it was a new skill that there was going to be lots of people needed to do that. But no, maybe I was just the outlier. Maybe I was just like, I didn't fit in with their demographic of people who wanted to be vets and doctors and lawyers. Wig makers. How did it come out with funeral director though? Just how would it even do that? It's just a fact, I think it only had one job on mine. Just the one job. I couldn't suggest anything else. Grim Reaper. Yeah. Jig Cal. I love it. Excuse me. This one slaps. This one definitely slaps. Weird that computer programming wasn't a job on this test, especially with computer programming and all that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Teaching kids how to use computer programs. Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, it wasn't that they were teaching them how to use computer programs, because you were doing it on a pencil. You weren't doing it on the computer. You were doing it on pencil and paper, and you got the results back on paper. So you never actually used the computer to do it, but you knew the computer was doing the thing, because that's what they were telling you. So it didn't make any sense from that point of view. But you think that the person who designed the program, being a computer programmer, that would be one of the jobs in there. You know, there was never any questions like, do you like sitting at a desk and typing? Like, there weren't any questions like that. It's like, do you mind sitting at a desk for 9 hours a day, 5 days a week? Like, no, I've got no problem with that. That wasn't on the list. Which is weirdly the kind of thing you do at school. You don't really type, but you sit at a desk all day. It definitely slaps. I can't believe other people did as well. I thought it was just thought it was in our school. I didn't realise it was like nationwide. And across Scotland as well. They punished so many children with that. It's slightly ironic that the programmer of that test didn't put programming as a job. Maybe he or she didn't like his job. I have no clue. I imagine that they just programmed it, but the reason why you must have to send it off to that giant computer because there must have been so much data in there. But obviously not that. Obviously not that. I bet nobody got computer programming. Bet nobody got that. Maybe they just didn't consider that to be a job back then. Even though you were going to end up with millions of people doing it. Why would anybody want to program the computer anyway? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Right, so next week it's probably Syndicate. Has anybody played Syndicate? Am I going to have to work out what the hell... I might have to do a bit of a play before I start the stream, because otherwise you're going to have to see me floundering around. I had no idea what was going on in that game just then. No idea. Interesting to have a hard disk installable game. The only other game I think you could do that with was Monkey Island. I seem to remember doing that back in the day. I'm sure you could play Monkey Island and then quit back to Workbench, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not. I remember Monkey Island took up my whole hard disk. Those kids with their computers, what's happening with this world? Oh, you like floundering? Oh dear. Do you reckon computer programming will be one of those jobs that they'll become obsolete given AI-assisted programming come in? Not really, no. I don't think so. I mean, the AI is like an assistant, but it's not. It doesn't. It can't think for you. Like it's not what you. When it says AI, I think that's the wrong name for it. It's a bit weird because if it was an AI, it'd be able to solve problems for you, but it can't do that. It can just write code that you tell it to write, which is what a computer programmer does anyway. If that makes any sense. I mean, it is quite good that sometimes it can write some code that quicker than you could write it, but quite often it's just taking the chore out of it. So we already have stuff that generates code for us anyway. That's not really AI. So there'll be things that we write code that writes code. Like that's quite a common thing. Because it's like, oh, it's all boilerplate, so let's just write some code that does it for us. And AI is a bit like that as well. So it's just like it's like a way of automating the code writing. But if you think about it, that's what the AI is. Then it's code that writes code. But what the AI can't do is solve your problem. And solving the problem is generally not a programming problem in itself. The programming is the easy bit. It's a bit like saying an AI could write a book for an author, like, which it could, but it can't come up with the ideas, or can't come up with good ones, and it can't come up with the plot that you want. It can just write the words down for you in a nice way. Have you ever asked AI to produce a bit of code? It's really dodgy. I'm sure it can produce some good code in some situations. Probably can. But again, that's only. But in those situations, you probably could have written it yourself anyway, so it doesn't really make much difference. At the moment, but AI in 5 to 10 years. But yeah, I don't know. I can't. Yeah, I think that's the thing that once you get into programming, well, if you first start programming, this is the thing. What you'll do, you'll start programming and you have to learn all the syntax and the grammar and all that nonsense. But then you suddenly realise that is not the hard bit. That's one day of work, learning the syntax and the grammar of how the language works. I've got a book called Learn C++ in 24 Hours, and it's not a lie. There's 24 one-hour lessons. So you can't actually do it in 24 hours because you wouldn't have to sleep. But you literally can learn the whole language in 24 hours. But at the end of that 24 hours, you don't know how to program anything, because all it's told you is the syntax and the grammar, how you construct the programming. It's not telling you how to solve real-world problems, which is the hard bit. So you suddenly realise that the programming isn't the hard bit. It's the solving the real problem that's the hard bit. That's the hard part. How do I make this thing do this thing? How do I make this thing move correctly? How do I make this not rubbish? How do I make this more intuitive to a person? And then you just program it. So the programming isn't the hard part at all. It never has been. So I think that's the reason why AI doesn't take over, because programming isn't hard, but solving problems is. And the AI isn't solving the problem. You probably have to solve the problem yourself to get the AI to write the code for you. Get it to write some SQL query does not resolve the problem. Yeah, AI is a pattern machine, so you get patterns produced simply. Yeah, so quite often if you've solved your problem, if you say you've got your problem and you've solved it, and now you know what code you need to write, it would be very cool to say to the computer, hey, write me code that does this, and it can do it. But you solved the problem, the computer just wrote the code. But as we said, writing the code is the easy bit. I know for a lot of people that isn't easy, because you might be working in an unfamiliar language. That's one of the reasons why that's a thing. So it's very cool for that. Like, say, oh, I need to write a script in a language that I don't know. And I know what I need to write, but I don't know the language. Well, that's cool, because the AI can write it for you, even if you don't understand the language, because you knew how to solve the problem. So you said, write me a program that can do this. So that's quite cool. So it can be useful. And it can only get information. It can only solve problems from information that it's got online anyway, or if it's even solving them at all. And if that information's wrong, well, your program's wrong too. I think like that. If a client would not change project requirements for 5 minutes, then programmers are still needed, because no AI can get from contradictory statements what a client really wants. Yeah, and I think that's the other thing. That is really, and somebody said it the other day, and I kind of like didn't really think about it like that. But engineering, which is what a programmer is, they're basically a software engineer. An engineer is basically a person who has to solve a problem given an incomplete or incorrect specification of what the problem is. And that's what you do every day. You have to like work out what the problem is from information that isn't complete, and then try and solve that problem. So you never get the correct information, and that's why the computer can't solve it, because you can't tell the computer the problem, because no one can tell you the problem. You've got to work out what the problem is. Once you've worked out what the problem is, you can probably work out the solution. So it's working out the problem that's the hard part. This all sounds very abstract, doesn't it? But that's what engineering is. Engineering is working out the specification of the problem when you don't know the specification of the problem. Correct. It's like asking people to do your stuff. AI isn't about to take over human yet, by which time I retired long ago. Well, usually you have a complete description. And then you figure out the solution and the implementation. Well, that's the problem, but usually you don't. That's what I would say. If you have a complete description of the problem that you're trying to solve, it's usually an exam question because they specify something very exactly that you can solve very exactly. But in real life, the problem is never described correctly. It never is. You will just get a woolly description of something. Oh, this feels a little bit wrong. Maybe this should be a bit more like over here, a little to the left. And you're like, but why? Why is it over to the little left? And what's the problem with it? What are you saying? It's like you don't ever get the complete description of the problem. And that's why you can't put that information into a computer, because it'll just say, sorry, not enough input data. The computer has the same problem that you have, which is you don't understand the problem, neither does the computer. And once you understand the problem, you can tell the computer to solve it for you. If you know yourself what you want to code but don't have the solution or the code yet. If you know yourself what you want to code but don't have the solution or the code yet. Well, if you know what you want to code, then you do have the solution. So you're only asking it for the code. That's the thing. So yeah, if you know what you want to code, you know the solution to the problem. You can't write code if you don't know the solution. You're just writing, might as well just be banging on the keyboard. It's the beauty of Agile, requirements can change. Well, they always do, but not just the requirements change, but sometimes you don't know what the requirements are, even when people are trying to describe them to you. So that is the problem. That is the general problem. And that's why AI will never... AI is going to be a great tool for writing code automatically, which we already have tools that do that, so one more is a good thing. I.e. rendering without having the math and code. Specs is the rendering. Scrum time. Yeah, and sometimes it can just, sometimes it can solve solved problems for you. Like, so it's one of those things. So you can say to it, find me the intersection between. Write me some code that can find the intersection between a line and a sphere. Right, and it can write code that does that. Well, that's great, but that's already a solved problem. You can look that up in a book, and the code's not big. So, what has it really done for you? It's just written the code on the screen. That's really all it's done. But it didn't solve your problem. Why did you need the intersection of the line and the sphere? Why did you need that? What problem were you trying to solve with it? So, the writing the code isn't the hard part. And if you know what code to write, you've already solved the problem. So if you knew why you needed that line and sphere intersection, then you're all right. You can write the code for it. And then, of course, you might come to the point where there is no solution to the problem. So it can't write the code for you because no one's solved it yet, and the computer doesn't know how to solve things that no one else has already solved. So ultimately, I think people think that programmers are people who just type code in, but they're not. They're engineers who solve problems given incomplete descriptions. The coding is literally the bit that nobody ever really talks that much about because it's the easy bit. So yeah. So go figure. Programming is easy. Solving problems is hard. So you couldn't really go to an AI and say, can you solve my problem? Because it won't. It'll just come up with something nonsense, especially when the problem's undefined. That does all sound like total nonsense I'm talking, doesn't it? I disagree. I think engineering is when you have the tools and you implement the known things. Yeah, well, that's not engineering. I don't think that's engineering. Because engineering is always trying to solve, for me, it's always trying to solve problems where you don't know what the specification is. You have no project if you don't have the specs. Yeah, I'm not really talking about specs. It's more like sometimes the project is trying to define the specs. That's the project. Like, how are we going to do this? So again, I think if you're talking about engineering is when you have the tools, you implement the known things. It's when you're trying to solve a solved problem. So that's the point when the AI doesn't help because you already know how to solve it. So if you already know how to solve the problem, the AI is no use to you. You want the AI to solve things that you don't know how to solve, and that's what the AI can't do. Does that make sense? The AI can't do the thing that it can't do. You're an engineer. What kind of engineer? See, maybe from my point of view, software engineering is very different from other kinds of engineering. But in this other kind of engineering, electrical, okay. So are you going to ask ChatGPT to design your circuit? And if you did, do you already know the circuit that you need to design? There you go. Because if you already know the circuit, the ChatGPT is no use to you. Because you already know how to solve the problem. That's not my point. Yeah, so that's my point really. It's just that the AI isn't as much use as you think. It might be useful for getting somewhere fast. It might be useful if you don't know what you're doing. There's an interesting thought. Yeah, something like cadence to route the wires automated. Yeah, so we already have auto routers for PCBs and stuff. And what's that if it's not just AI? So we already do that. But it routes the wires for you, but it doesn't tell you what wires to put in. That was your job. That was kind of your job, wasn't it? Like, what wires do I need? What chips do I need? What do these chips do? What problem am I solving? It'd be interesting to see if you could say, just make me something that can render graphics. Design me something that can render graphics, and design the PCB for it. Can it do it? Good. What kind of graphics did you want to render? Like it doesn't add up. The whole thing doesn't add up. But it might be very good at solving simple problems quickly. Certainly like little scripts that can do little things and stuff like that. In modern graphics API like Vulkan, OpenGL, DirectX, you don't need to use complex 3D Math for basic stuff. You don't calculate 3D graphics on the CPU, and the GPU calculates most things for you. Yeah, but you have to tell the GPU what to calculate. So that's the hard part. Yeah, that's the hard part. You still need to do. You don't need to do the calculation. The computer does it, but you need to tell the computer what to calculate. How do you know what to calculate? From the specification of the problem. How do you know the specification of the problem? Because a lot of the time it's not specified, or it's not specified correctly, and it's your job to figure that out. If you would have to make an IMU USB bus, how would you start? I don't know. IMU, what's IMU? All parts are in the books already. What would be your first step? My first step would be become an engineer though that does that, and I'm not. So I wouldn't be doing it. So if you wanted me as a complete novice to design you a USB mouse interface, you would definitely be asking the wrong person. All I would be able to do is ask ChatGPT, and just whatever it spits out, I would give it to you and go, there you go, problem solved. And it probably wouldn't work. But I'm talking about an experienced engineer wouldn't need it. They just wouldn't need to do it. Because they already know. Solving it isn't to hit the book. Solving it is like, the problem is about, I don't know how to explain it. I think you're saying that basically AI can solve your problem then. Is that what you're saying? But you're already saying to me, I need to make a USB mouse. Right, so you already know the definition of the problem is I just need a USB mouse. But why do I need a USB mouse? I don't know. Have I been asked for one, or am I assuming I need one because somebody said something? Like somebody said, I need an interface for a computer. And you know it needs to be a USB mouse because you're an engineer. Or did somebody just say, design me a USB mouse? Because that's never the specification. Make me a USB mouse. It might be, maybe in some cases. Solving it is solving it. But it's the problem solving and thinking that the computer can't do. That's the problem. But the actual implementation is what anybody who's qualified should already be able to do anyway. And anybody who isn't qualified, you wouldn't want them designing your products. One of my products was to do exactly that. Knowing the problem specification parts to you. So it might be your job to figure out the specification when people give it to you, and to figure out maybe that it's incomplete. But you didn't ask ChatGPT to do it, did you? did you? And if you did, how would you know if it was right if you weren't experienced and you hadn't hit the books? That'd be your next problem. That was my own specification. Give it to yourself. So you solved your own problem, yeah. Yeah. So the problem of finding the specification was the problem. That's what I'd say. But it'd be an interesting one. You might try to find specification way to get a mouse one step before. I don't know. But I still think from my point of view, my job is, you know, we start with we want to do this. How are we going to do it? That's the kind of thing. You know, we want to make a game where the character can. So it might be like we want to make a game where the character feels awesome. That can be like the thing. It can be like the character feels awesome because they can do awesome things. It's like, okay, so how do you solve that? Well, you start to define what awesome means. But you could ask ChatGPT. It might come up with something for you. You know. I don't know. Anyway, if you want to be honest, if AI works, it works. But I still think even if it comes up with a solution, sometimes you're going to have enough experience to know if that solution is correct, or you're just going to trust it. So if somebody said to me, I want you to design a USB mouse, and I'd say, okay, I don't know how to do that, but I'm going to ask ChatGPT, and it's come up with this. And they go, okay, let's put 10 million of these into production. Although I don't know if it works, but ChatGPT told me it did. And ChatGPT is right because it's AI. And at that point, you'd be like, okay, shouldn't we at least test a few of these? And go, how many do you want to test? Let's test 100. But are we going to put 100 in production? We don't know if that's going to work because no one's even looked at it to see if it's right because the person who's made it doesn't know. And even then, you're like, okay, we'll just trust it. So you could do that, and it could work, but I still think at this point you still need someone who's experienced in this thing, who might just say, you don't want that at all, you want something else. Maybe. I don't know. Other question. What's this? Pretty much modern 3D graphics program. It's telling GPU, hey, I have a shader, compile that, run that. Here's an object in form of numbers, render it using that shader. Pretty much 70% of that set up for that. Yeah, that's what it is, but knowing what you want to render in the shader is half of the battle, I think. It'll be alright, Dave. Skynet will put an end to all this anyway. I don't think there's any danger of Skynet. It's just there's no danger of it at all. It's just not happening. Other question I think is if you try to create doesn't have any specification, you're going into dark waters. You can use other things, but you can create much thing. I'm not saying that you make something without specification. What I'm saying is half the battle is defining the specification. That's the problem. It's that you need a specification, but quite often it's incomplete and you have to create it. And you can't ask the AI to do that because it doesn't know either. You've got to work it out. So yeah, you need a specification, but you have to figure out what the specification is quite a lot of the time. And once you've figured that out, like I said, the rest should be simple anyway. I'm a software dev, and so far AI is not capable of working out a spec to a solution. It's good at searching through answers, though. As easy as a search engine most of the time. Yeah. Yeah. It can be good for generating ideas, maybe, as well. I don't know. Like, give me a set of random things and see what they are. Can't create a new thing, creates a remix of old things. Maybe. But that's management level stuff. You deciding if something fits, not the engineering process. Or even invention level stuff. As you're trying to describe invention versus engineering, I think it's sometimes very similar, I think. Because sometimes engineering requires inventing something. That's the problem, isn't it? It's like we need something new. At some point back in the day, somebody must have got to a piece of water and said, there must be a better way of getting across this piece of water. And an engineer or somebody invented the bridge. And the engineering and the invention were kind of the same thing at that point. I have to move stuff. How would I do something that does it? Yeah. Exactly. Most of the time in my experience, the specifier doesn't know what the specification is. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That people give you a specification and it's wrong or it's incomplete. And you as an engineer have to complete that specification. And once you know that, you can say to them, yeah, well, exactly, I think this is what you want. And then you can say to the AI, can you make that? But the AI couldn't figure that part out. It just does the bit at the end, like the auto router in the PCB and stuff like that. He trained in organization management as well. Project management, there you go. But this isn't really a project management problem I'm talking about here. I mean, maybe the AI can do project management for you, I don't know. Anyway, the question was, do you think AI are going to replace programmers? And the answer is no. Because programming isn't the hard part. That's all I'm going to say. Programming's not the hard bit. Project is when you don't know what the factory should do, you need to talk to figure out what we want to do. Yeah, well, maybe that's because I'm coming from a video games background, and that sounds exactly like video games. In video games, quite often, you either don't know what you need or it's constantly changing. And I think that's partly because it's software, and people think with software they can just keep changing it. And sometimes you're trying to find something new, so there's a bit of that going on. So it's kind of a creative process as well, really. And I say engineering is a creative process. It's trying to solve problems. But yeah, sometimes it just comes down to the part that the AI can work out. How big does my steel beam need to be to carry this much weight? But it's not solving it's solving the known problem with the known inputs. It's not actually, working out whether you should even have a steel beam or whether it should be steel in the first place. I think that's what it is anyway. So ultimately, programming is easy. Yeah, like what the next GPU tech should be. Yeah, exactly. Or what it shouldn't be. Ooh, is this like stuck? It's not like it's stuck, that. I think it's invention/design step. I sometimes use AI to make a decision for me. It's quite good at that too. But that's just because it can access loads of data quickly. And only existing data. I can't think away from that. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think also we're at a point where it's so new, all this kind of stuff. It's like, how do we use it? So, yeah, maybe we're just trying to figure out how to use this stuff. I don't know. But for me personally, I've never even thought of asking like AI to write me any code, because by the time I've thought of the code I need to write, I don't need it to write for me. Because a lot of the time you're just sitting there figuring out what code to write. But if you know what code, by the time you figured out what code to write, you can just write it. That's not particularly hard. If it turned out to be like a really long section of code, can you write me this huge section of code? Because it's going to be really, you can type it quicker than I can. But then it's almost like asking a typist to type your work out for you. Part of the design could be math, figuring out. Could be, but I suspect that you've got to figure out the maths that it needs. And it can do the sums for you, which is basically like leaning on the computer to do stuff for you. I think it's just hitting like, yeah, and sometimes it is just like, it's like Googling something, isn't it? Like, like sometimes problems are already solved, but you don't know the answer, and then it can tell you. So that's why AI is good. But ultimately, you need to know that answer is correct, or at least have a way of figuring it out. So it's very abstract, isn't it? It's very abstract. But anyway, I've not had a call to use AI for anything. But I might try it. See if it could. But, you know, can you write me some code that does this? And see what it comes out with. Right, well, we'll leave you with that to ponder. AI can dig up facts fast, but so that's it. So that is right. But that's basic, yeah, like Google. That's what I see AI being. It's just a different way of interacting with a search engine. That's really what it is. It's a better way of interacting with a search engine. Rather than just saying, list me out all the places in London, you know, you can ask it more like in a more normal way. Like, where are all the best places to eat in London on a Tuesday? And it can answer you like it's a human. It's very good. Right, it's time for Beddy Bobs. So, it's midnight. Right, that's the end of the stream. Thank you all for chatting. We chatted a lot about AI at the end. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And we might be back next time for some, possibly some Syndicate or something else. I don't know. But I've got Syndicate now. Might have to muddle through it on the stream. Right, have a good night. Have a good evening. And I'll see you next time.